It feels like the first time. It feels like the very first time.
It feels like the first time. It feels like the very first time.
I didn't even know you were an R.L. Stine hipster.
Why do I have to be an R.L. Stine hipster?
Because you're totally one of those guys that's like, I read Goosebumps, or I read R.L. Stine before Goosebumps, even before Goosebumps.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, I did. I think the first one I read was The Babysitter, and then Goosebumps came out. But what's interesting about Point Horror, this Scholastic activation, was they just collected a bunch of YA authors and were like, write scary books, and we'll call them all Point Horror. So this is book 1, 2, and like 7. And this is Carol Ellis.
Damn, Steve.
I've always been a Carol Ellis hipster.
Do you think it's oversaturated, the young adult horror genre?
No. I think it's, if anything, undersaturated.
What kind of Foley
It's
are we
almost
recording
black and
here
white.
today?
What?
I said, what kind of Foley are we recording here today?
Welcome back to the show. I'm eating an apple, guys.
You're playing with the books. We got the books and the nice glass of something sound. Steve's got the apple.
We got
Yeah,
motorcycles.
we're trying to get that ASMR audience.
Let me get the
in on this
chapstick in.
leftovers conversation.
All right.
Here, what about this? What about a little?
Ooh, that's nice. All right, listen. Welcome to the show. Shit's crazy right now. It's very difficult to try to make content. I think I've already talked about this ad nauseum on a lot of things I've appeared in over the past couple of days. Hey, we raised like $25,000 or something.
Yeah, 22,500.
That's great.
We raised so much money for Color of Change.
Yeah.
A great organization that is leading the charge, along with a lot of great organizations during this Black Lives Matter movement. This,
Indeed.
yeah, this very, very important stuff going on. If you are unaware of it, then that sucks.
Then where are you living? How are you possibly unaware?
Yeah. Please do some research on the Black Lives Matter movement and look up George Floyd and get really angry with us if you don't know what's going on. But shit needs to change, and so this weekend's been like really hectic. This week's been really hectic and feeling very. There's been a lot of stressors. I was gonna say pressure and stress, but my brain created the word stressors.
Fran Stressors.
But anyway, the point is that we're trying to get back into the groove of making content and stuff, because I certainly couldn't make anything last week, and I tried my best. And dynamic banter is a job, as well as something that is fun for me to do with my friend Mike Falzone. But I figured if we were going to try to have any kind of fun that wasn't going to happen, that we should at least bring on someone that we could talk to about important things. We had William Haynes on. And on the Valley Cast, we have a friend of mine, Roberto Blake, who's like a super awesome person of color. And we're trying to bring people from outside of our comfort zones into the fold, because it's time for us to do our part with visibility and all those wonderful things that need to happen, because things need to change, and we're doing our best to do so. But on top of that, we're also trying to entertain people, because I have been turning to entertainment to escape some of the pressures and feelings and stressors of the situation. So the show must go on, and we're finishing Leftovers, one of the most inappropriate shows to be watching during. I mean, not inappropriate.
I don't think it is. I think it's very.
It's not inappropriate. It's just dangerously and uncomfortably close to what's happening in our actual life, which is something that I could have never dreamed of happening when I first saw The Leftovers. But everything is very familiar in this chaotic world of.
I feel the opposite. I
The
dreamed
Leftovers.
of this happening when I watched The Leftovers. Haven't we been dreaming of this happening for like 100+ years?
Well, yeah, we want things to
I've been
change.
hoping and dreaming.
We definitely want things to change, but we don't want the pain. We don't.
Well,
want...
being in the middle of the revolution never always is rough.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what
but
I'm
I
talking
think it's a good
about.
thing. I think we need to recognize that this is really, really great.
No, totally. And even though I don't want the pain, you need the pain and the uncomfort and all of
to
those
push
things
you through it.
to push you through it. And it is the only way shit's going to change. It's
Right.
just historically true, and it's just true on an individual level too. If you want something to stop in your life, you have to do something about it, and everyone's rallying together about that. And it's taking its toll on us as well, because we've been trying to do our best to promote that message on our platform. But, you know, it's important to take a break and watch a show and talk about a show with some friends. And so, so here we go. I just didn't want to ignore what was going on, you know, and I wanted to just do a little quick disclaimer that we're doing our best and we hope you are too. And that we support the movement, and we are here for you if you need a place to escape the perils of this reality we're living in. But so anyway, moving on, because unless you guys want to say something, but you totally don't have to and don't feel obligated to, because we've all been saying things. We've all been doing our best. We're stretched incredibly thin. There's a pandemic going on. There's a civil rights movement going on. It's like really insane. So if you feel like you're tired and you just want to take a break from that for a moment, because it can't end and we can't forget this is a movement that needs to continue until these injustices are figured out and people can feel equal and safe in their fucking home. And anyway.
And in their country.
And with their fellow neighbors and shit. But let's watch a fun show that just ended. So we just finished season 1.
Well, the season ended. You're talking about like acting like the show ended.
Right. Sorry. Well, the show did end technically, but I'm talking about how season 1 ended, and we have watched.
Not for us.
No, not quite yet. But we've watched the penultimate and the finale episode of The Leftovers season 1, and the first episode was titled "The Garveys at Their Best," which was episode 9, and then episode 10, the finale, was called "The Prodigal Son Returns." And man, a whole lot of shit happens.
Yeah.
Like
took a real lost turn.
Yeah. Well, first of all,
like, we're going to subvert all the momentum that we've created, and we're gonna waste a week of your life.
Yeah. Now you know how I felt.
With the finale.
Yeah.
Well,
that's how you felt. That this was part of the demise.
This was part of my part of my being like, you're just playing with me. Like, let's go or let's not go.
This does feel like I was in a, I don't want to say an abusive relationship. I don't want to compare it in that way, but like a relationship that was like, yeah, there was things I really didn't like about that relationship, and then we broke up, and I'm like, the good outweighs the bad, and you get back together, and you're like, the bad's still there, but I'm like ready for it, and I know how to accept, and I know that good is coming.
Oh my God, 100%.
Yeah, so this was, to me, I was like, I see you, Lindelof. I know, I've seen this before. So this is like the wet towel on the bed,
Ugh.
So how are you feeling, first timer? Because Alana, you've seen it and I've seen it, but Alana, you didn't remember probably a lot. But I want to because I didn't remember a lot either. But I want to get to Brett's thoughts first on
so episode 9.
Episode 9. Yeah,
being a flashback was refreshing. I thought that for a second. I got nervous that we were going to get a parallel universe version of what's happening, or some shit like that,
which is very possible and very expectable in a Damon Lindelof joint.
But it is interesting to see everything that is wrong in the Leftovers world happened in the last 3 years. Like, I didn't really understand the timeline of when his family structure, when Kevin's family structure broke down, when the son left, when his dad went crazy, and it's all happened since the poofing.
Like everything's fallen apart. Everything's fallen apart in 3 years, pretty much.
Yeah, that poof did it.
And you're right. That really did help to visualize.
To see Nora's family life wasn't that great. It felt like it was very tense and very not like your perfect prototypical nuclear family scenario.
And did you feel did you feel like there is a potential connection between people who departed and people who stayed behind as far as home life and personal emotional feelings about your world and how you might want to escape or you might not be happy with your life type stuff?
Are you leading the witness here? This is what you and I talked about. You don't need to inject.
I feel that way now.
What the heck, Steve?
I guess I went too far because
You just wanted to say what you think about it. Let's
well,
go.
no,
say what you
I
think.
went too far, but I really do wanted to know if you thought that there was a potential connection between people who were like not living a happy life and people who departed.
I mean, so no, because I don't feel like Kevin was living a happy life.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like,
and I feel like I think the two biggest things is they seem to have the more optimal facade of a family, but there was more wrong behind the scenes, whereas Nora had a more tumultuous relationship or moment in her life. Kids are not easy, guys. You don't.
right,
don't have to
but
have
there was also a similar
Let's
moment
just say
with
our thought. Well, if we had the same thought, which I think we did.
Well, I guess I mean, the thing is like everyone who we're following who had someone depart in their life, which is almost everyone, maybe except for some of the background characters or whatever, which was interesting because while you watch this episode of a flashback of everyone's lives in this little town, you do see everybody and you see even members of the guilty remnant and what they were doing and things like that. And
Yeah.
But to me it feels like all of the people that we're focusing on who had someone depart in their life in the show, it seems like those people were not living a very happy life. Like, and a very fulfilled personal life. Like Nora, it seemed like was really hoping she was going to get this job working with the mayor, which probably isn't even that high paying of a job, which means that she probably struggled with work. And then she had a husband who was disconnecting from her right before her eyes and not helping with the children and being this kind of like deadbeat
classic guy. I don't think it's deadbeat. It's just like typical.
Sure.
I feel like her whole family life wasn't terrible. It was just like typical of a rough time when you have kids at that age in the family.
Right.
But I
But
think, if you're a husband and wife and you both have careers and you have kids, like, it's tough. That's really tough to have kids and sustain two careers, I think, to that degree. I think one person tends to take a back seat at that point, and be the more dedicated parental figure. And that can be tough, especially if you would rather continue your career. I could see that being a real stress point.
I mean, look, I'm not saying that these characters' lives are like fucking terrible, like they're in hell. I'm just saying they were unhappy. They were unhappy in their current life.
Yeah.
Well, I thought the most interesting thing about this episode was you kind of understand why Kevin's wife is part of the GR now, because she suffers alone.
Yeah.
And I can now, because I don't think I ever had a grip on why would she join having not lost anyone.
Yeah.
Like, is it just a guilt issue, which seems aggressive? So now I at least feel like they've really sold me in on, it makes sense that she would be there and be this committed to that cause.
Dude, and Lindelof really got us with her pregnancy story. Like, came out of complete left field. You had no idea she was fucking pregnant. And then they just throw it on us in this episode. And then they show us that conceivably the baby departed.
Nice choice of words.
Because it is conceivably. I mean, and I remember.
It was conceived and conceivably gone.
Right? Because we don't know. We don't know for sure if it departed, but the look on her face kind of says it all. And the fact that she joins the guilty remnant, it had to be something like Brett said. It had to be that she suffered some sort of loss.
As far as we know, there was no action taken and there's no baby, so.
Right. Exactly. So it's really interesting to see that development for her character that just kind of came out of absolute nowhere, and Damon Lindelof made it so interesting because you were thinking like, I mean, what were you thinking, Brett, when you saw that she was pregnant? Like, what did you think happened to the baby?
I assume she lost the baby, and I wondered if it was like a car crash or something, along those lines.
Yeah, or maybe an abortion.
Well, that's interesting because
An abortion, yeah.
Yeah, the first time I watched it and this time, I just was like, of course she gets an abortion without him knowing. In my mind, the first time they suggest the pregnancy, it's obvious that that's what she's doing. Is that like a girl thing?
I don't
Maybe
know.
It's the verbiage was something I would get.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really it's hard to tell because she keeps telling the doctors that she hasn't told her husband yet.
Mm-hmm.
And she told the woman on the phone she needs to talk to her husband. And then...
But the first thing the doctor says to her is, I mean, I'm paraphrasing here, but something to the extent of, we're going to take care of it. Not like, come in and let's see how the baby's doing. Like, we're going to get rid of it.
Well, she said something like, we're at the point of no return. So it seemed like maybe she was like, I'm considering getting an abortion. And maybe it was a courtesy from the doctor to be like, hey, if you're really going to do this,
make your choice.
Make your choice now.
Yeah. But I felt like it was on the side of... It sounded to me like they had been talking about we're getting rid of it until they were kind of like, well, we're at the edge. So if you're not pulling the trigger yet, you're keeping it.
It's unclear. But
yeah, I
but
see
we
that
know
she
it's
was
a girl.
toying.
We do know it's a girl. Because of some of the mind-bending imagery that could mean this or that, and
well, but based on the end of the second episode, it could have been suggesting something else.
You're right.
So
You're absolutely right, and that's another layer.
I didn't know if the deer was representative of Bambi's mother.
Well, at least we know that Bambi is in universe, which is very important.
Yeah, vital.
There's really so much to talk about in this episode because it's a really interesting place to put the I mean, I don't know, maybe this is more normal than I think, but it's an interesting place to put the episode where you see what their lives were like before the big thing happened, because the last episode was like Patty fucking killing herself in the cabin, and you're like, well, what the fuck is gonna happen to Kevin? Is this dude gonna fucking skip town and just be on the run? Like, what were you thinking he was going to do about Patty, Brett?
Well, she killed herself. I think the entry wound would suggest that. Potentially the pressure. I think a coroner would be able to determine. I think that him explaining how she got there, he's police chief. He could make some stuff up, right? So I figured we'd be okay there. Yeah, I will say I didn't stress too much about that.
Really?
I assumed we'd find a way out of it. So when we didn't get the answer in this episode, I wasn't too troubled by it. I thought it, like I said, it's almost like I was prepared for it better this time than I was with Lost. And I did find some interesting nuggets. I like that he didn't want the dog.
Yeah.
And that's it. I like that he didn't want the dog. That's all.
I remember
thinking
that if they didn't, I remember being really worried about what was going to happen to Kevin when we found out that he beat the fuck out of Patty and dragged her to a cabin and tied her up and conceivably planned to murder her there. And I remember thinking because
I didn't see him do that.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah. That's cool. That's one perspective for sure.
Without question believe that that's what happened.
Sure. But for me, I remember watching it the first time and thinking holy shit, this is our main character and he's basically become a bad guy. He's basically now not a really not good person. And And so I was like, man, they really better do a great job of like making us understand this. And they better do a good job of making this work, because all I could think of was, I mean, is this going to turn into one of those shows where like this cop has to like hide a murder, and then like they're trying to find Patty, and then there's this whole thing and it like weighs on him? Like, what kind of show is this going to become now? Because the stakes were raised so fucking high. You're just like, they better do the right thing. I mean, I didn't even know what the right thing was. I was just in for the ride, but I remember thinking they better have a reason. They better have a good way out of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you feel the same way, Alana? Do you remember the first time you saw
I remember thinking they better have a good way out of this, but I also wasn't stressed about it. I was like, it'll work. Something's going to work out. This. Also, yeah, he does have a lot of power. I mean, I get that he is not a good liar and is not a lying type, but
yeah.
I wasn't so stressed about it.
It's funny because we end up saying to each other, we hope they find a good way out of this in most things we watch.
Well, yeah, because you're rooting for the people you're watching.
Well, not only that, you're rooting for the people that made it. Like, I didn't, like, when I say they better figure this out and they better do it in a way that works, I mean, the show is precious to me at this point. It's, like, really good, and it's, like, the kind of shit that I love. And I really didn't want something like a really bad handling of a incredibly high stake. And I didn't want that to weigh down my feelings on the show. And so I was invested more in the idea that I really hope Damon Lindelof can get us out of this more than like,
right.
But I'm also obviously feeling like I hope the character can get out of this, because I like Kevin. Like, I really like him at this point.
Wait, you're talking, hold on. This is how you felt at the end of 8, but you get no information in 9, but you do in 10. So let's skip ahead. How did you feel? Did you feel like they did a good enough job at answering that question?
I loved it, because I remember, and in this time even more so, because I remember thinking, man, I just wasn't, because this was like the first big thing Damon Lindelof was doing for TV after Lost.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the biggest Lost fan, and I was
like...
Oh,
so at the time you were that worried?
Yeah, at the time I was like, man, I really hope this is like as good as Lost, even though there were so many more people involved in that made it good. But we know Damon Lindelof's good at this point. We know which episodes he was mostly responsible for in Lost, and those were some of the best ones. Right. So I was really invested in the show, like, being like good, and I remember just thinking, like, the fact that the reason why it happens and how we get out of it and who comes to help him and the fate of Patty, and now this like ghost version of Patty, like, it's no one could predict that that's what would have happened. And it was like the first time that I was like fully strapped in for like a new Damon Lindelof thing, because I was like, okay, you're going to take all of these high stakes and all these incredible situations, and then they're never going to resolve in a way that you could ever expect them to. And when they do resolve, they're so awesome, and they're so like, it's even more mystery and shit. And I don't know, maybe I just like the mystery, and maybe I just like mysteries upon mysteries, but it seems like he's grown into a creator that now knows how to handle it, and we're getting enough back that it doesn't matter that there's more mysteries. Does that make sense?
I don't agree.
Not totally, but I think I get where you're going.
I get where you're going, and that's why I stopped watching the show last time, because I was like, don't just answer a mystery with another mystery. Like, answer a mystery with another mystery, but give me a token of answering so I can feel a little bit satisfied, and then give me a new mystery.
I guess I just like it.
But I felt like it was just never a token.
Yeah, I felt like the solution to the Patty problem was appropriate for the show.
The problem with Patty.
The Patty problem is my favorite book about menstruation for kids.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
That's good. That's an important book.
You guys got a girl on the show now.
During quarantine.
That's an important book.
The problem with Patty.
Read
it's
it
like
to your
a non-horror Carrie. So,
About menstruation.
well, there's that scene in Carrie
I don't remember them talking
that
about
when
periods.
I saw it as a youth was very confused and disturbed by.
Oh.
The horror fans know what I'm talking about. Listen, I thought they did a good job at giving me a satisfactory exit from the murder of the suicide of Patty for the show in a way that I felt like if it never comes up again, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
But it
Me
also
too.
leaves a story seed where they could come back and be like, hey, there's blood in this cabin and this person's missing. Like, they have places to go with the story, with the way that they solved it. And I like that.
I agree 100%.
Absolutely.
Wait, let's finish talking about 9 so we can get to 10 then.
Okay, so I want to talk about in the Wikia or wiki or the fandom or whatever the fuck this is. I want to talk about how they go a bit into Kevin's relationship with the deer. So we should talk about that a little bit. So the origins of the deer are kind of now revealed, right? Like the deer that we've been seeing, like that crashes into Kevin's place and stuff. I mean,
Yeah. The origin of Kevin's
It is
relationship.
interesting
The
to
origin of
rewatch
deer.
these 2 episodes back to back because they do feel interconnected
right.
Yes.
in a way that you see the family. That he goes into the house, he goes upstairs, and the deer escapes that house. You see that family again when they're burning the dummies from the GR. Is dummies an appropriate term?
That's fine. Yeah, they're dummies.
Okay. For the GR. And a lot of episode 9, I felt like tied directly into 10.
I agree.
Yeah, totally. I love it. I loved those things. There were so many little details like that. Like when Kevin is when he's just having a smoke and then the first deer attack happens in the preschool. He goes into the classroom and the woman that is having an affair with Nora's husband is the teacher, and she comes in and she's like, "Oh, what? I forgot what she said."
Well, that's
to him.
the best part about them having it in such a small town is having
Right.
all these characters that we know things about. Like it feels like you live in that small town.
Right.
You kind of know little bits about each person. Yeah.
It reminded me of like in Lost, how it was like a little too coincidental that people were like knew each other from like past Brett, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, did you see the movie Fantasy Island?
No, not yet, but I do plan on seeing it.
What's Fantasy Island?
It's got a lot of that where it's like, oh, they all spoiler a little small.
Wait, no,
spoiler
just don't
Fantasy
spoil it.
Island.
It's okay. I want to watch it now.
I love Joe Dante's small spoilers. Do you guys see that movie with the little toys?
Oh man, it's so good. What would you call the things that they put in people's house?
Dummies.
Dolls?
I mean, I guess they're dolls.
Marionettes?
Yeah, they're dolls.
Not marionettes.
Well,
Mannequins.
They're
Mannequins.
They're
No, let's call
mannequin
them dummies.
They are
They're
dummies because
dummies.
they're made out of that
Okay.
kind of.
They're dummies.
They're just like
And now that you
dummies.
mentioned though that you felt like that might be the wrong word for it, I cannot think of it other than the derogatory term of
That's
a
what
dummy.
they are. I don't want this to become I understand that.
What would be the
child had
derogatory
Down
term?
syndrome and that I don't want that to be a thing.
Oh
Like,
no, but I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just
Okay.
thinking about how all of them are dummies. That they're just like even the
You mean derogatory meaning you're just saying that they're dumb, that they're stupid?
Yeah.
No, I mean
Okay.
like what would you call it? They're a big hunk of plastic or
No, they
rubber.
are dummies.
Yeah, they're dummies.
Just has 2 meanings. The English language is so fun.
All right. Let's talk
It's a
about
dog language.
but it's just so funny how in Lost and how in Fantasy Island apparently it's almost too unbelievable that some people know each other from whatever because
But
of how
this one
giant
makes
the
sense.
world is, but this one makes total sense because it's just
Mhm.
a small town. But anyway, so here it says that he sees the deer in a clearing with a mysterious glowing halo while jogging on 10/13/11.
Mononoke?
What did you think about do you think that there's something going on with that imagery?
I think he stole it from Hayao Miyazaki from Princess Mononoke.
Yeah. But Alana, you have thoughts about the deer and the
I
and
just
things like
don't. I don't know. Is there like a Christian representation for deer? Because everything seems to
I
be
don't
damn
know.
Christian based in this show.
that? I don't know.
Not. I don't mean that.
I can't think
anti-Christian,
of
I
anything
just-
specific, but I'm far from a scholar at this point.
I can't either, and I'm not a scholar, but I was a Catholic boy for many years.
I think it's because it's Harry Potter's the word that starts with a P. Patronus.
Patronus.
It's his
Come on.
Patronus too. It's also his
Alana,
Patronus.
get the words right.
Dang, I'm bad with words, y'all.
But I mean, the chief calls it Bambi, so I kept trying to draw Bambi parallels.
Yeah.
Where the mother dies, and I don't know. Because I'm like, where's Kevin's mom? We don't see grandma.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, we talked about when we were watching, Steve and I talked about the meaning of the deer, and that part I can talk about. I don't know why it's a deer, but I think the deer remember we talked about this, represents two different things. One is Kevin, how he was feeling before the poof, where he was feeling like kind of stuck, kind of not in the right place, wild and in a tamed place, all those kind of things. That we had better terminology earlier, but it's been a minute since the episode now. And then it also kind of seemed to represent to me something that Kevin is seeing something or interacting with something that he's not acknowledging in himself, like because the deer always escapes him, but it's always kind of peeking its head around the corner. But I feel like that's animals a lot in this for Kevin. Like there's the way that his dad hears things or whatever has some connection that he's interacting with, that Kevin has that going on inside of him, but he's not willing to like go there. And that's kind of what the deer represents. It's just always, he's fighting it. He's wanting to save it, but yeah, anyway, those two things.
What do deers represent? Is there any sort of like
a Native American thing, maybe?
Yeah, that's a good question. Let's see. Should I just type it in?
To you, because I always feel like deers are kind, and they're not really, but
no, I feel the same way.
Deer, it seems like delicate, and like I feel like there's certain attributes you give to a deer.
And also, isn't a deer female and that's a buck? And they keep calling it a deer though?
A doe.
Oh, a doe is female.
Wow.
Deer is either one.
Listen to this quote about the leftovers. The deer not only is symbolic of his feelings of being trapped.
Hi.
It also reminds Kevin of the potential grace and beauty of his character, which he is squandering with his bad behavior in an unfulfilling environment.
All right. That's some white people shit. Sure.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Well, the other themes of the episode Steve pointed out right in the beginning for episode 9 are that we're seeing the cracks in their what should be happy lives. I know we kind of went into detail, but visually, the very first... Is it the first shot? I think it's the first shot after the intro. We see there's like a crack on the wall and the picture frame beneath it is twisted. And later he goes back and recognizes it. And obviously that's symbolic of everything we're seeing, how their lives aren't as perfect and lovely as people make them seem once they've lost those lives. So there's that. And there's the it seems like what I thought was most interesting about the episode 9 is there seems to be like a lot of people are picking up on this feeling that not only is maybe their life imperfect, but that something's off and that something else is going on. Like Patty, straightforward in her psychology or whatever therapy appointment, says that the world, like something really big is going to happen. She knows it. She can feel it. Like the world's going to come to an end or something like that. And she suggests that the wife lady can feel it too. And you see in like some characters that there's something that they're picking up on. They're kind of saying like something's weird.
Yeah.
I thought that was fascinating as dang shit.
And the women that...
I don't want to give any spoilers for Lost because Lana hasn't seen it. But
yes,
there's
please.
a lot of this in Lost where you're sort of like, hey, these characters, there's more to them. And there's more about them that connects to what you're seeing than you knew.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a little bit more about them.
Mm-hmm.
Because Patty kind of having those visions and stuff, it's very interesting to find out at this point.
Yeah.
Well, and to find out that they knew each other beforehand in a completely reverse scenario from like hierarchy standpoint.
Yeah.
Because Patty is like the head of the GR, but Kevin's wife was treating her.
Totally role
Essentially.
reversal. Yeah, absolute.
And isn't it interesting? Remember in that moment when Kevin is smoking on the side of the road, and then that car pulls up just before the sewer grate comes out of the ground or whatever, and those ladies are like, "What do they ask him? Are you ready?
You ready?
Yeah."
And he goes, it's you, me?
And then they're like, "Oh, we thought you were someone else," and then they take off. Like, what was that?
Cool. It was cool.
It
That's
was
the kind of
cool.
mystery I like.
I know. Well, that's.
Give me some niblets.
Well, get ready because
Give me some niblets, but don't
Because
just
you're
like.
gonna get a whole bag.
Oh, I'm
I
sure.
I wanted to read this thing about the deers that I just found
Yes,
on
please.
the Leftovers subreddit, which I think is really interesting. And then another thing that's even more interesting about the deers. But before we do that, Alana, you're so out of sync in the video here.
Oh yeah,
So
I feel that way too.
What I want to do is I want to why don't you back out really quick?
I don't know how.
Okay, so just
Press
hit
this
hit
X?
that red one, yeah. And then go into your settings. This is a good part of the show.
We're gonna leave this in.
Yeah.
Can
Go to
we
your
talk more about YA horror fiction.
None of them say
Yeah, go
settings.
ahead.
I don't know which one you want me to do.
All right.
preferences.
Okay.
And then
What I find interesting about Blind Date
But where?
is that it's a high.
or voice and video or whatever, yeah. And then go to the camera. Oops.
I already checked this.
No. Just switch it back to your other camera. Let's not use that external one.
I don't like the other camera.
I'm sorry. It's just that it's a piece of hardware you should
No, stop!
take it out.
That's my hard drive.
Oh shit.
I have
Oops, almost
programs
unplugged our hard
running.
drive. Unplug the webcam. And then let's just take the webcam out of the equation. Out of the occasion.
So I didn't go on any blind dates when I was in high school. Did you guys?
No.
Blind.
Seems like a reach.
What are you talking about? Who
Okay,
went on
so
blind dates?
thank you, Brett, for making it interesting for a second. Even though what Alana and I were doing might have been more interesting. But
Is Alana back on?
Alana's back. Oh shit, do you not see her?
No, I mean like on time.
Let's find out, Alana.
Yes.
Yeah,
Am
Perfect.
it's perfect. Yeah.
So you're not gonna cut that out. That's all gonna stand.
Do you think I should?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
you might.
It's the
Maybe.
YouTube now. We can't play copywritten music. It's a professional operation.
Okay, so
Gonna
here's
cause technical difficulties.
what someone named Pinstripe Pajamas has to say
I don't listen to pinstripes.
on the deers in this season of Leftovers. He says, on the day of the departure, Kevin had to put down a deer that he had been trying to simply catch. It stood out as an odd priority considering all the damage it caused. He only killed it to put it out of its misery after it was hit by a car. In both situations, he's persuaded to act as a bad guy. Not only does he kill the deer, but he also tells the woman he's not such a great guy before they have an affair. With Dean, he lets it happen before he's persuaded to use his gun. Because remember when he pulls the gun out of the trunk when he's with the dog shooter guy, and then he kills the deer because he puts it out of his misery?
Mm-hmm.
The first episode ends with Kevin defeated after trying to talk to Lori, confronting the deer that had disappeared when he returned the dog collar. This is a while back, so if you guys don't remember some of this stuff, that's okay. A pack of dogs attack the deer, and Kevin has the first "Am I dreaming?" moment. And without an answer, he tearfully takes out his gun and proceeds to start shooting at the dogs. That's the first episode of the show.
Right.
During therapy, he makes it very clear that he didn't shoot the deer, but rather the dogs who had attacked it. So he didn't kill the deer. He only shot the dogs. Lori and their relationship in some ways is pursuit and presence of the deer. The wrecking of the home and disappearing feels significant. It's also Kevin giving in to his grief and recognizing it for what it is. To me, I always saw it as Kevin finally giving up on Lori, or at least realizing that there's nothing he can do to save their relationship. That's just my take.
Him shooting the deer in the end? That's interesting.
Is him letting go of Lori and that
Yeah.
he can't save her.
That like it's already dead at this point. It's been hit by a car and shit.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's bleeding out. Very interesting. And then there's mention of a of course, a Bible passage. Saint Hubertus and his vision.
Oh, Hubie.
Saint Hubertus, or Hubert, became Bishop of Liege in 708 AD. He's a Christian saint who is the patron saint of hunters, mathematicians, opticians, and metal workers. That's quite a menagerie. Known as the Apostle of the Ardennes, he was called upon until the early 20th century to cure rabies through the use of traditional St. Hubert's key. And I don't know why... because of St. Hubert and his vision, which is a whole thing, apparently. Hubert was a Christian saint. Hubert was widely venerated during the Middle Ages. The iconography of his legend is entangled with the legend of martyr Saint Eustace. The Bollandists published 7 early lives of Hubertus, blah, 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 blah. All right, what's his story? Let's find out. There's got to be something about a deer, right? Why the fuck would anybody have posted this shit? Here we go.
Oh.
During Hubert's religious vision, the Hirsch, which is a deer in German, is said to have lectured Hubertus into holding animals in higher regard and having compassion for them as God's creatures with a value in their own right. For example, the hunter ought to only shoot when a humane, clean, and quick kill is assured. He ought to shoot only old stags past their prime breeding years and to relinquish a much-anticipated shot on a trophy to instead euthanize a sick or injured animal that might appear on the scene. Okay, so, but I want, what's the connection?
I mean, that's how Kevin's acting.
I guess that's true, yeah.
Wow, so glad.
All right, well.
Now we know.
Now we know. All right, well, some trivia here about the episode. After being a main cast member the whole season, this episode's the first time Amy Brenneman has had a speaking role on the show.
That's the first one who gets stoned to death?
No. This is the pastor or priest.
Oh, yeah.
Wife.
Oh, Amy. That's right.
Is he a pastor?
Pastor, yeah.
Bishop, something like that.
Something like
Father.
that.
They call him father,
They
right?
do call him father.
They do call him father.
But I thought priests don't marry.
I don't know.
Anyway, her. The girl from West Wing.
Oh, the woman Kevin sleeps with, credited only as the woman, is played by a different actress from the pilot.
What? She's in the pilot?
Yeah, well, you can see a woman being made love to and Kevin's there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't treat her like an object, Steve. She was participating. Thank you.
I mean, she got recast.
Because she was acting like an object.
Listen to this. After the table read for the pilot, Amy Brenneman and Damon Lindelof walked around Central Park for 2 hours and fleshed out Laurie's backstory over 3 years between the departure and the start of the show, including her profession as seen in this episode. Brenneman says that because Laurie is an empath, she felt the pain of the departure particularly heavily, and also says that Patty stalked Laurie to get her to join the guilty remnant.
Yeah, I see that. Cool.
Got some callbacks here, kind of interesting shit. Is this the episode where, so what did you think about Patty and Laurie being a fucking psychiatrist?
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying. I think the dynamic shifts there. But I think it also makes a lot of sense. You know, it's a good episode because it does give a lot of context to the character dynamics, because Laurie has always been very, I want to say vocal, but in writing to Patty, and just basically has always sort of had an air of authority when talking to her.
Yeah.
And even as Patty has gone away, it feels like Laurie has just filled that seat without much hesitation. And seeing their dynamic being, you know, doctor to patient in this way, that makes a lot more sense. And kind of, you know, I had thought previously, why doesn't Patty like kind of strike her down when she sort of, you know, goes against her or questions what she's doing? And I think this lends to why that would be and why they would have a unique relationship in this regard.
We also got an answer to what was in the bag that Patty left on the doorstop for
Oh,
her
yeah.
ex-husband.
Jackpot.
Did we?
Yeah.
in their counseling session. I don't remember what it was, though.
Yeah,
Do you remember?
In the therapy session between Patty and Lori, Lori makes a joke about her husband because she's attributing Patty's fears of this potential event to her husband's abuse and kicking her out of her house. And Lori makes a joke and says, you should just let all that anger into a bag, or put all that anger into a bag and put it on his doorstep so he could stomp on it. And she was like, "Oh, I know."
And give it right back to him.
And give it right back to him. And which is, and then when Lori and Patty are having breakfast in the diner, and Patty's talking to Lori for the first time,
the doggy bag.
she basically shit in the doggy bag and then put her husband's name on it. And
She
then
did poop in it?
Yeah, it's shit. She
Oh.
took the doggy
Do we
bag
know that?
because she took the
I
doggy
thought
bag.
that was a maybe.
Are you saying she
that's a for
interpreted
sure?
anger as poop?
Well, yeah, because she
Don't we all?
she mentioned it to her. She said, "Remember that session or what? Remember that one time, the last time we talked or
Yeah,
whatever." She took the doggy bag. She was like, "I'm gonna go to the bathroom or whatever," and she took the doggy bag with her. And then
I
there's
didn't remember that.
and then there's total emphasis on her like a turd being in that bag for the doorstop.
total emphasis of the heart.
Anyway,
Jackpot.
but it was interesting that in
I'm
that
glad we cleared that up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, in the
so
session, in this therapy session, in the episode, it's pretty clear that it's a reference to when Lori said to her that it was her husband that was bothering her, not the idea that there is some sort of catastrophic event coming. And I thought that was really interesting. I just spit on my mic and it was really gross. It was a piece of apple. Piece of Apple's my favorite
Alanis Morissette album.
specials. Yeah, there you go. All right, so let's move on. Prodigal Son Returns, the name of the finale episode.
Wait, I want to say my theme.
Oh, go ahead. Yes, sorry.
Okay, so it's pretty obvious what the theme are, but there's one thing left unsaid, is that especially in that Bible passage, and it seems to be toward the end of the episode, they're talking a lot about something being enough, like having your lovely family and your seemingly perfect life, like whatever, the happiness that you have, is that enough? Or feeling like you have a greater purpose than that, and feeling making that choice or whatever. That seems to be what's been toyed with in that episode, and I found that interesting.
I want to find...
Like, why am I not satisfied kind of vibes.
I want to find something about... What did you guys think about Kevin crying while he read the Bible passage while burying Patty? What's your takes on that?
Like, too true kind of vibes for him is my assumption.
Okay. Brett?
I don't know. I remember him reading and going, I can't wait for Steve to tell me what the relevance of this is. But it could have been like a passage that he's heard before and that has some sort of relevance.
Okay.
Guess. That's a guess.
Okay.
Let's see, what was it? The passage that Matt makes him read was from Job. Right?
No, I thought it was from that guy I'd never heard of.
Psalms.
Jonathan Psalms. Was it this? It was not the finale episode where he prays, right? Oh, it is the finale episode.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. Well, you haven't gotten there yet. Okay.
What's his name? Doctor Who gives him the Bible to read the passage.
Yes, but that's in the finale episode, not in the next or the first.
I thought we were talking about the finale episode.
Well, I
We're kind of popping, dropping back and forth.
I guess we're popping and locking. I just wanted to say really quick that, because we haven't done this in a bit, I feel like, but the episode 9, the penultimate, the Garveys at their best, was directed by Dan Sackheim and written by Damon Lindelof and Keith Lingenfelter. One of those.
Keith, just write in how to pronounce your name.
Please. And Mimi Leader directed the finale episode, written by Damon Lindelof and Tom Perrotta, the author of the novel.
Cool.
He
wrote the pilot, right?
And he wrote the pilot. Yeah. But anyway, Prodigal Son Returns was a fucking whirlwind. A lot of shit going on in this episode,
Are you
Brett.
talking about 10?
Yeah, finale. Where you at, Brett? How do you feel about that finale?
Okay, you want real talk?
Yeah, real talk, baby.
I don't feel like it had the finale punch.
Oh,
I don't feel
wow.
like it felt like an episode ending, not a season ending.
Shade.
Like, I get that we got a lot, that the hugger died and granted Kevin a wish. You know, what wish did he make? Was it for a baby? Because that baby showed up on his doorstep with Nora, who I was afraid was going to kill herself. And all of those things, but it didn't have a, like, I fell out of my seat and now I'm going to be angry until I watch the next episode type.
Can I tell you
season
why?
Finale that I would have expected.
Can I tell you why you feel that way?
Because there's actually 11 episodes in this season.
No, it's because there was a big chance they weren't going to get renewed. So they were like ending the show too.
How would that be an ending of the show?
Exactly.
That
I
the
know.
hugger is the baby?
Yeah,
That he's passed on his power?
the ending of the show, I guess, would be that
Oh, I didn't think of that.
he wasn't going to get his family back,
No, you're never gonna get it.
but
Never
it
gonna
seems
get
like
it.
he got.
Not this time.
But it seems like the wish he made was for perhaps maybe a happy family or like something about family.
Family. His family.
A family. And then I think that what we get is him returning home with his daughter, and then to this woman who basically professed her love to him in a letter.
No, she was about to kill herself. That's a suicide note.
No, that wasn't a
No, she
suicide
said
note.
she was leaving.
Yeah, she said she had.
Oh, yeah, not suicide.
I don't think
Sorry.
she was
A
gonna kill
leaving
her. I
note.
think she was running away.
Right. My bad.
But the point I'm trying to make is she said she loved him. So so what we're seeing is Kevin returning home with his daughter, who probably has a newfound respect and love for him because rescuing her and saving her life was
A big deal.
a big fucking deal. And then the fact that her mom could even be involved in such a horrible act probably ruined her relationship with her mom for good.
The mom didn't come and comfort her or save her.
Oh, and mom didn't even warn her, which is the worst part about
Well,
it.
she did. She tried to stop her from doing it.
But she was just like, you should go on her pencil.
I wish we could clips you saying that.
But
You should go.
the
You
point I'm
should
trying to make is
go.
that an ending of this season could imply, or an ending of this show could imply that this woman that he conceivably is also falling in love with has a baby and probably would want to raise that baby, and Kevin would probably raise it with her along with his daughter Jill, and they could live happily ever after.
Yep. Seemingly on the end of the episode season.
But thankfully that's not what happens. We get so much more. But it's interesting
Okay,
though, Brett.
spoily.
Well, come on, there's three seasons. That's not a spoiler.
She didn't say spoiler. She said spoily.
Yeah. Get it straight.
That's not even a
Get
spoilie.
the facts straight.
It's
Steve.
not even spoily adjacent.
All right, let's just finish reading the creeds.
Anyway,
But
let's-
that's crazy. That I mean, I get it. If they thought the show was gonna end, they didn't want to leave you on like Kevin just took a bullet.
right, and everything sucks.
Yeah,
for
but they
everybody.
do want to leave us on the Wayne, like, no, we'll just leave him a
Oh,
complete mystery.
no,
Deal with it.
no.
Take a poopy in your viper.
No, I didn't get that at all from Holy Wayne. What I got from Holy Wayne was the dude was a fucking hack the entire time.
Nope, not me. That's not what I got.
And here's why.
And here's why.
Because how could anybody that says he gets his power from young Asian women?
He never said he gets his power from them.
Yes, he did. He said he is powered by young Asian
I
women.
thought he said he needs them around to like help him
Because
out,
he's
but that's
powered
not where
by
his
it.
power comes from.
He said that it powers him. He said it powers him. In rewatching this series for the first time, I really tried to pay attention to the Holy Wayne stuff because it was also something that I agree with you, Brett, especially in the last episode. You mentioned that the Holy Wayne stuff is not the best part of the show by any means.
Unfortunately, like it could be. It's so interesting.
Totally.
But then it's not.
But I think most people agree that it's not. And but I tried to give it the benefit of the doubt this time because I also felt the same way everybody else did, basically, when I watched the show the first time. But watching it this time, I was like, all right, let me try to get into Holy Wayne and see what this shit's all about. And I figured it out. I think I totally figured out that he's bullshit. And the nail in the coffin on that is that guy, that officer who works for the fucking cult, the Department of Cults or whatever.
Yeah.
Who's probably seen a million of these fucking guys, is like, he's just another one of those fucking guys.
I disagree 100%.
Now, let me ask you a question about that guy. You're talking about the FBI agent
Yeah.
or whoever. Was
Yeah.
that the dude that Kevin was on the phone with?
Potentially, huh?
I didn't like track the voice or anything, but I thought that would be interesting.
Fuck
Yeah.
it.
The way he sort of talked about it was very laissez-faire.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Lazy.
But Alana, you disagree about Holy Wayne. You think he had
100%
power?
I disagree.
Okay.
Well, my
I
experience.
also think he had magic fucking hugs.
No way, because listen, Nora got a magic hug and it didn't fucking fix her. She didn't.
It did until the Memorial Day happened.
That's bullshit. If it was magic, nothing could have broken through
See,
that.
that is a misunderstanding. I'm
I don't know
actually.
the scariest dummies you've ever seen sitting at your kitchen table.
Yeah, they really were kind of scary.
We'll do some fucking work on you, you know?
But I hear you though that she didn't come. Oh, I get your trash.
No. I wanted you to
Thanks.
have more.
Okay.
No, have some more.
Well, I'm about to speak.
That's what Mason does, by the way. He'll call me into his room and just hand me
Dude,
an empty apple core.
I know that that's what children do, and Steve does this all
That
the
is not what I was doing. I was giving you some. Give it back to me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
My God.
I'm in the middle of talking. What
I-
makes you think I should bite right now?
I just thought maybe you would want some more.
I would like some more. Thank you.
All right, well then I'll save it for you. for fuck's
Well, I
sake.
was all right.
I'll hand it to
You
you
can
when
be
you
the one
want
to
it
hold
then,
it.
I guess.
I don't feel like you're getting any more of that apple, Alana.
It's fine.
No,
it's
I'm
fine.
setting it down right now for her to have.
I think that's your last bite.
He's like rubbing it all over the mic equipment on the table. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna chomp on that.
I am not.
Okay. We're talking about Holy Wayne.
I'll trade you Steve for Mason for a weekend.
That's so funny. Okay, so I'm coming from a really, I believe, fairly unique position. I don't know shit about all the Christian references, but I do have a lot of experience with people who are like clairvoyant or spiritually gifted, whatever.
Mystics.
We'll call them mystics because it's a great word. Because that was my experience growing up. And my experience with people like that is people are, you know how Holy Wayne at the end, he's like, I don't know if it's real or not. Like, I don't know if I have powers. It's just people keep coming to me. I'm giving them hugs. Is what you assume he means by that. And I find that to be incredibly accurate, that most people who have some kind of massive clairvoyance or something, or an ability to do something, are just as confused and weirded out by it, but they can feel it and they question it just as much as anyone would question them for having it.
Okay.
But don't you
That's
feel
so
like
normal.
That's a crutch. It's a way of being like, I don't know. It's just I say things and people get what they need from it. And
I think it's honesty. I would
Okay.
take it as I mean, I'm totally up to being wrong, especially because like I said, this show has a lot of Christian cues that I'm not. I have no subtext
but no
understanding.
Carlton cues.
There's probably a lot.
Wow, that was a jackpot.
Dang,
Jackpot.
that was a double potty.
Nice work, buddy.
But that
I'd be done
and
for this episode.
and people who have those kind of skills and abilities, this might be controversial, but in my opinion, to this day, a lot of authority figures deny that. So the fact that the police guy's like, oh, he's just like anyone else, like, yeah, of course they would say that. They would say that no matter what.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
their perspective, and it's all
Okay.
about your beliefs, right? If you're believing that, it's really going to be hard to get that
I mean, I
belief
just
shaken.
think that
Not to say that he's super gifted, but I think it seems like he has some kind of ability, even if it's just a
Let me ask
level
you a
of
question.
charm.
Let me ask you a question.
Hi.
Where'd Tom go?
wait. Before we answer that,
Tom goes to mayor.
can I want something. I want to say something really quick. I think that if Holy Wayne has any kind of power at all, it's the power of like persuasion.
Yeah, I'm saying that could be it. But if
Right,
it's a persuasion that really affects people to shift, then that's a real power. Do you know what I mean? Like
sure,
the idea
like
that
a Tony
magic,
Robbins or something.
It's like when people talk about
placebo.
miracles. Sure.
It's a placebo, yeah.
But it's like the idea. No, I think it's different. It's the idea when people talk about miracles as though they have to be something that is completely impossible and that's what qualifies it to be a miracle. When in reality, you can have something incredible, necessary, life changing in a good way happen to you that really is miraculous and is a miracle, but you could think back and figure out how it potentially could occur. That doesn't negate it from being a miracle just because it doesn't seem impossible. You know, like the impossible factor is not what creates the miracle. And I feel the same way.
So it was like baby miracles.
No, I feel the same way with this guy. The fact that it's something that other people have low levels of, like charm, if it is, for example, some kind of persuasion, doesn't negate that if he has it in a way that can affect people's lives massively for positive change, it doesn't mean that that's not the magic.
So he has like magic stats in the real world Dungeons and Dragons, and he's able to cast spells, and he has like little spells, and his spells are like persuasion and they're very effective.
Here's what I think. Whatever took the people that it took, whatever that is, turns out to be, took a bunch of people but gave back something in return.
Oh.
And so
wow.
I think that Holy Wayne did have some gift in
wow.
this story.
That's cool.
The reason I asked where Tom went is I'm very curious as to what you guys think Tom thinks of Holy Wayne at this point. And how did he fall in with him? Because I don't feel like from episode 9 we got a good sense. Unlike with Lori, where I could totally see it, I don't feel like we got a good sense of how Tom ended up with Holy Wayne in that whole.
You're right. It's almost like, you're right. They did nothing with that.
Well, they showed us his relationship with his real dad and that how he found out he's half adopted and all that, and that how it affected him.
Yeah.
And I feel like it has to be rooted in that somehow.
Yeah, especially since he came to when he and his mom talked about it, he seemed to be like, I'm just trying to forget it. And she was like, you can't do that.
But he isn't trying to forget it. He went to that guy's house that day.
Well, he said, I'll try to forget it or something like that. He said something similar to that.
That might be what he tries to do, but it's not what it works.
Which is interesting because Lori and joining the Guilty Remnant, their whole thing is for people to not forget and to remember things.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Maybe she's a big belief system.
Maybe she's a big turd.
Maybe she's a big turd. But yeah, you're right. I guess they just kind of, because it seemed like he was fine other than his relationship with his real father is kind of an issue. So we can only assume maybe that's what drives him away. But it is interesting.
Yeah.
They don't explore
or maybe
that.
His real father joins Holy Wayne, and for some reason he goes with his father.
Oh shit.
I think it's the basic element is just that people who really feel like they need purpose in their lives and don't have it are vulnerable to things like cults, and that's what happened with him. He didn't have purpose and wanted it and found whatever is going on with Holy Wayne and started doing it.
Well, there's a lot of stuff here in the fandom, in the Leftovers fandom wiki page about it, but I definitely want to talk a little bit about some of the insane things that happen in this episode, such as
feet.
Feet was a recurring theme in this episode.
Yeah, I know.
But not that. I want to talk about what the Guilty Remnant did with those dummies. And what your thoughts are on that, Brett and Alana.
With those damn dummies.
I think that they're, I think now that we know we have the official party line from Patty as to what they're doing, I think this is totally in line with what they're doing, which is basically like aggressive disruption to your life, to not forget about what happened. And I think that they expected to be attacked. I think they expected to be potentially murdered and were ready for that. I think that's maybe why Lori didn't want her daughter there, because I think their ultimate purpose is to be martyred for trying to make people remember, because people will not forget that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's what I think.
Were you shocked by what the dummies were for? Did you? What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm like I'm a bit of an optimist, so I thought they were gonna like set them all up in the church and open like a museum of memory,
Yeah.
where it's like come through and like this is your family. You know what I mean? Like this is how they were, remember? And then people were gonna get mad at the church. I didn't know they were gonna like sneak in and put them back. But you know, I would have suggested like a more optional opportunity for like, do you want to see your family? Remember, here's your remembrance. It's like the museum, museum of memory, or museum of remnant.
So that would be your spitball if you were in the room with the guilty remnant. And
I
you
would
were
get
pitching.
voted down, but that'd be my suggestion.
You would have written it all out, and they would have been like, "Nah, let's put it back to where let's put all of these replicas of the people that disappeared right where they were when they disappeared."
Yeah, I mean, you call it a museum, you get public funding. There's like a lot of upside to it.
Just now when you said that, I thought you said remembred.
Remember, you could sell remembred at the cafe.
in the gift shop. Yeah.
Everybody come get your loaf of remembred.
And then a lot of damn things happen in this episode. Holy Wayne is done for. That's good. Oh, let's read the recurring themes here, and then maybe we can kickstart some thoughts here. The dog Kevin captured in Solace for Tired Feet finds him and Jill, and they bring it home.
I love that.
Yeah, that
Very
was
cool.
really nice.
I like that.
The episode's title references the parable of the prodigal son from Luke 15:11-32.
Can somebody shorthand that for me? What's the thing of the prodigal son?
Well, at Matt's behest, Kevin reads from Job. Prodigal son wasn't prodigal son.
All I know is prodigal son returns is like a phrase, but I don't know what that.
Yeah.
Did he leave?
The prodigal son was like he was like a guy that was like, I don't want to live here anymore and I hate my family, and he left. And then he right? Isn't that basically what happened? He denounced his family and then he came back.
I don't remember.
Shall we call a priest?
All right, hold on.
friend.
Search.
All right.
Waiting
In the
for
story,
the-
a father has two sons. The younger son asks for inheritance from his father, who grants his son's request. This son, however, is prodigal, which is wasteful and extravagant, thus squandering his fortune and eventually becoming destitute. As consequence, he now must return home empty-handed and intend to beg his father to accept him back as a servant. To the son's surprise, he is not scorned by his father, but is welcomed back with celebration and a welcoming party. Envious, the older son refuses to participate in the festivities. The father tells the older son, "You are ever with me, and all that I have is yours, and thy younger brother was lost, and now he is found."
This sounds like boomers to their millennial children.
Yeah, pretty much. At Matt's behest, Kevin reads from Job 23:8-17, continuing Matt's association with Job.
Who had Job?
What's that?
Who had Job when we were guessing which
Steve.
book of the Bible?
Oh, I said
That
Job.
was Steve.
Yeah.
You get a few dog barks
thank
for
you.
that.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Thanks, buddy. Great to see you. An ad for departed_united.com on the side of a building quotes John 14:15. Memories. Kevin has flashes of seeing his family happy at the party and the Garveys at their best. Kevin dreams that Matt has him committed to a psychiatric institution where he talks to his father and sees Patty. Kevin Sr. slides a National Geographic magazine into Kevin's cell in his dream. Kevin flips through the magazine.
I was for that.
Me too.
I was for that as a reality.
Me
and not
too.
as a-
Me too.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin flips through the magazine and sees the map of Cairo on page 647. This seems to confirm that Kevin took the magazine out of the trash and has looked through it, since he otherwise could not have accurately dreamt about its contents.
What? I don't. Can somebody prove that to me? I don't feel like that makes sense to me.
I mean, if he's
I don't think I could prove that to you, Alana.
He has a note written on that page. That's why he opened it to that page.
But in his dream, he was like reading the magazine. He was like reading all through it and stuff.
He got it back out of
because
the
it's in
trash,
his
right?
dream.
In his dream, yeah.
Oh, I get it. I totally forgot about that Yes. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
Mm.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I couldn't believe.
Oh, the guy who played the kind man who asks Tom if he needs any help is a college friend of the author of the book, Tom Perrotta. That's a nice bit of trivia. Let's get a dog bark for that.
Really, he was a good actor.
Yeah.
Oh wait, are you playing sound effects this whole time?
Yeah, are you not hearing them?
I'm not hearing
Oh
this.
no!
He
Okay,
only
hold on,
just
we'll
played a
figure it
couple
out,
of
we'll figure
them.
it out. Hold on.
I really was like, man, this is pretty light on clips for Steve.
Oh no, I was playing a
Oh.
ton of clips.
What? You weren't playing that many.
Well,
clips.
I
Jackpot.
Did you hear that, Brett?
Jackpot.
No.
Oh
That's a
no, we
He's
gotta
been
fix
playing-
this.
He's been playing Jackpot a lot. If you heard us
I
repeat
have been playing Jackpot.
that's
a
probably
lot.
why.
Oh,
I heard
this
you
is
say
why.
Jackpot,
That's
and then
probably
it didn't
why.
play, and I was like, how is that possible?
Okay, I'm sorry, Brett. I think we're back now. Can you hear us again? Can you hear us? Hold on. He's hearing us a way that he should not be hearing us.
Oh, through the toilet hole?
Through the toilet hole. Guys, welcome back to the show.
Through the
where,
toilet hole.
Through the toilet hole. Let's see. Brett, can you hear us now?
Yes.
Yay! And can you hear this?
Yay.
Jackpot.
Yes.
Yay!
Go fuck yourself! 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 Go fuck yourself!
Oh, shit. We got a player here. Oh, shit. We got a player here.
That sounds like
Oh,
Owen.
shit. We got a player here.
That's starting to sound like Owen. Is that just me?
What?
Is it quarantine?
This one?
Oh,
Yeah.
shit. We got a player here.
Well, I can't tell the difference between that and Brett.
Right.
So it does.
And I
I'm
can't
correct.
tell the difference between that clip and Owen.
All right. Let's see. Anything else from this episode? The departed dad from the opening of the pilot is seen in loved one form pushing his shopping cart. Okay.
Wait.
As
Loved
Matt
one
drives
form?
Kevin home, a report is heard on the radio about Wayne exchanging fire with Feck agents and staging a daring escape. So that's what I thought. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
And we're still getting Kevin seeing things in weird ways Oh, we should mention that in episode 9, we're still having him see things in weird ways where it's like, is something? Like when he sees his coffee cup and there's like extra coffee juicing out the bottom.
Oh yeah,
Like
well I
stuff
got,
like that is before The
Houston
Departed.
out the bottom.
yeah, but what I got out of that was and thanks for reminding me because I wanted to mention that I got the feeling that because remember when Kevin walks into his nice house with Lori, there's
Damn
that
nice house.
there's that like picture that's crooked and there's like this big crack in the wall.
The one we already mentioned.
Yeah, I got the idea that that crack and then the coffee mug crack represent the
Was there a crack
cracks.
in the coffee mug?
Well, it's obviously leaking because it's cracked.
Oh, I didn't. I saw him inspect it and there was no crack and it was just
Oh,
one of
it-
those like Kevin seeing weird things, what's going on
Oh
kind of
no,
situations.
no! I got that it was actually a broken.
Brett,
mug.
what did you get? He puts it right back down though. He doesn't like
Well, because he's in the middle of like a police meeting or whatever with his dad.
Can I be honest with you guys? I didn't think twice about it.
Well, what I got out of it is that they were the cracks in his life leaking out. His
I mean, that-
perfect life.
that would be on theme and totally work, and that I would not be surprised if that is correct, but I am also questioning the one I thought.
Yeah, no, totally. That's the beauty of this show. No one's.
That's the beauty and that's the beast, and there you go, my baby.
Ain't no wrong theories here. I don't think.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that, Prost.
Cheers to Belle.
Let's see. Lucy's brief role in this episode is her final appearance on the show. Who's Lucy?
Which one's Lucy?
Oh, is that her friend? Is that Jill's friend?
She wasn't in this one at all, was she? I didn't see her.
She might have been somewhere in the
I
background.
think
or
she's
something.
somebody who becomes a friend in high school.
In the scene where Patty speaks to Kevin in his dream, director Mimi Leader told Ann Dowd, who plays Patty, to kiss Kevin at some point in the scene, but did not tell Justin Theroux.
Jackpot.
That's great.
And Dowd tells who to kiss Kevin?
Remember when she's like straddling him and kissing him in his
Oh.
dream? Mimi Leader told her not to, or to do that, but didn't tell Justin Theroux. So he didn't know she was going to be kissing him.
Classic director move.
Classic director move, and that's awesome. I love the way he's reacting to it too. He's just going with it.
Tricks.
Tom Perrotta and Damon Lindelof cite the scene where Kevin meets Wayne in the bathroom as an instance where Lindelof's boldness in storytelling clashed with Perrotta's more grounded approach, as he feared that the moment was too huge a coincidence. Perrotta now feels that the scene works, and he is glad Lindelof won out. In contrast, Lindelof wanted Kevin to actually speak his wish to Holy Wayne, which was, "I want to start over." But Perrotta insisted that audience would intuit the wish by the end of the episode without it being spoken.
New family vibes. That's what I wrote in my notes.
New family, who dis?
I said Kevin's wish, new family vibes. I'm too weird.
Wow.
What age are we?
No, I love it. That's why I love you. You're a damn weirdo, and it's the best.
Well, thank you. That's very sweet.
That's really cool.
I wrote that Wayne is a djinn.
Oh yeah,
Like a genie.
because you were like, he's granting everybody wishes, and at one point Alana and I stopped the show and we're like,
And we just had a bunch of farts in a row.
we had to fart, man. Sometimes
Everyone
you
had
just
to
get
fart
it. You
so
just get that
much.
feeling. But no, we were talking about how, what if the departure was,
Yeah, you can't watch the show.
what if the departure was
You can't watch
about?
the show through farts.
No, of course not.
I get that.
Especially one that's so serious. But Alana and I were saying, what if the departure happened because
Oh yes, I love this theory.
everybody who had someone depart in
Wait,
their
first
lives,
the stuff in the sky. That there was some kind of like astrological
no,
alignment that
my
happened that was really one particular moment. Everything aligned in
that
a
was
certain
your
way,
inclusion
like a sun
of it.
flare.
My idea is that
Okay.
everyone at the same time or at some moment in some
No,
energetic
yes, this is part of it.
yeah, it's just that we got to that point
Right,
that
okay,
you're
okay,
about
okay,
to talk
okay,
about.
okay.
But
I didn't remember
but
that.
my theory was, and then Alana joined in, and then we agreed, and it was great. It was a big Voltron of beauty. It was a Voltron idea.
They're gonna say, and then Alana chimed in. She's a credit for the idea. Alana's idea, I guess.
Let's keep qualifying this and not say the idea.
No, the idea is, excuse me, I'm sorry, my name's Steve. Have you ever met me?
I'm nice to meet you. I'm Alana. Shall we talk about
Welcome
who we
to my
are
show.
first? Nice to meet you.
But listen, the idea is that everybody in this like moment in time all kind of wished these nuisances and these terrible things happening in their lives would just go away, essentially. And everyone's like idea aligned with some cosmic event. And then Alana added that
yeah, the cosmic part is
the
what
cosmic
I added.
event. And then we were like, what if it was just this moment of like unity in the idea that everyone wanted their lives to
Not
change
everyone,
or
but the
something.
people who made the wishes.
Right, or people who had people disappear in their lives or something.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe that's why the departure happened.
So it was like one big
When
wish
does it tie
granting.
into the Cloverfield universe?
But the thing is, if you listen back to our episode 1, I already said that.
Oh yeah,
That was
well, I
my
guess
idea from the get.
Well, I'm not sure. I won't discredit that, but I'm just saying we talked about it a lot during this
Yeah.
episode.
And what refined it for me was because there's supposed to be some astrological alignment at the moment that is the same as what happened during a bunch of other really tumultuous forward-moving times on the
Moments.
planet.
Yeah.
And thinking that like, well, right now is one of those, and that's interesting how of course that would make sense. So that's where the idea was born from, really, that there is some astrological component, cosmic.
In the script, Lori's great job, Alana, and you've turned into some type of
Jackson Pollock painting.
It looks like what's
Great
that
job,
movie?
Alana. What are you talking
what's
about?
that movie with Natalie Portman and she goes into
Closer.
the bear that's a half human?
The Revenant.
Annihilation.
Yeah, she looks like an
Different.
annihilation glitch for a moment.
You're back now.
You're back.
Oh,
You
me.
different?
Yes.
Oh, you were talking about me.
yes. But,
Correct. I am Natalie Portman. Nice to meet you.
but anyway, in the script, Laurie's walk after leaving the wreckage of the Guilty Remnant complex was simply along the street. Director Mimi Leader had the idea of moving it to the park so Laurie could look at the statue and be reminded of her own departed baby.
That's a great.
I
call.
didn't even. I didn't put that.
I thought that I didn't really,
That is a great call.
read into it too much, but I thought that was a really good moment. Her
Yeah.
looking at the statue, because I do think the statue, in some ways, is meant to remind people what happened.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Which is their purpose,
Right. Right, and people were already doing that, but you know, yeah. So maybe
another
she saw
theme
that.
in this episode is that people seem to speak their truths at diners. What's the deal? Who are the ad wizards that came up with that one?
Isn't that just a movie? That should just be a new
It's a
movie.
New Jersey thing, okay?
That should just be a new trope.
They're in New York State.
Shouldn't that just be a new trope? Because that happens in so many movies.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a new trope.
But no one's ever called it a trope.
Oh, really? Chill, coining it.
That's what I'm
First time
saying.
show trope climbs.
Well,
Diners are just funner to film.
yeah.
And you know, I think there is something that it feels like incentive to talk because, like, imagine.
Oh, let's call it diner exposition. There's so much
It's not-
diner
but it's
exposition.
Not, the exposition isn't the part that matters. It's the.
Fuck!
Oh, there's hornets keep coming by our window, and Steve.
I'm gonna
really
get this
gets
one.
Upset.
You guys keep going. You talk
Are
about
they
diners.
murder hornets?
Well, I
I
hope not.
Jinx, you owe me $1.50.
Or a diet Coke?
Oh, the
Oh my god!
I think the
Oh, that
diner
was
thing.
sound effect.
Yeah, it was a sound
There's
effect.
also dogs.
No. We're not in the leftovers.
Son of a bitch.
I think the diner thing shouldn't be the exposition because it's specifically characters opening up about what they're thinking inside of them. So it's maybe like a
Diner therapy.
sure diner therapy works.
I'm so sick of all this diner therapy and all these movies. No, that doesn't make sense though. Like, that doesn't get the idea across. We'll think of something.
I don't know what it is about diners, but it is the idea, the visual of a diner to a filmmaker is exciting.
It's
Yeah.
just film noir.
When they were going to launch, when DC was launching Doomsday Clock, we scoped out a commercial for Doomsday Clock that we were going to shoot in a diner that was all about pancakes because of Watchmen. And I was so excited at the opportunity to shoot in a diner, and I don't know why.
Do you have
I
any?
think it's because of film noirs.
You really think
because
so?
of classic films. Like, you know, people who love cowboy movies. What are they called? Westerns.
Spaghetti westerns.
Yeah, and they do all these Western references all the time, and everything's about these Westerns.
Yeah.
I love that people love that, but that's not my
I wonder-
connection point. I love film noirs, and there's the same community
I
there.
think diners are just
Diners
loud.
are
They're
common.
chaotic. They're moving. They're like
They have interesting colors.
they're alive. They kind of they have their own personality, and it's also very. You can have a private conversation at a diner under your breath because it's so like
A private
know.
public.
I still think it's
because
diner
the
exposition.
kitchen bleeds into the bar, which bleeds into the booths. It's all this kind of like interconnected.
I mean, there are
There's
a lot.
to look at, a lot to see. You can put a lot
Yeah.
of action there.
I mean, it's very American too, but there are a lot of things about diners that can be found in other ways. There is something unique about the diner aspect that's more than just the obvious facts of like everybody likes to get intimate when they feel safe because they're in public, but nobody else is listening. Like, okay, all those elements do exist in a few places. Water
You
parks.
can get to know, someone at a diner. You can
Why
break
isn't
up
it a
with
water
someone at
park
a
thing?
diner.
Well, and you can have your actors eating, which I guess is a thing.
You
too.
can have your cake and eat
They're
it
open
too.
late.
All right, listen.
Go in
Yeah,
late.
They are
that's true.
open.
That's true.
That's a part of it. That's why.
yeah, like where could they be where it's late at night and they just got done fighting crime? Oh, a diner.
That's why I'm connecting
Yeah.
it to film noirs for me.
All right, let's keep going here. Let's get through this, and then we'll get to our clips and emails.
Maybe
So-
somebody's like knows some good film history and knows the reason. Maybe there is an actual
Are you
reason.
saying we're not through it yet? It's not time for clips?
No, there's more to
Oh,
read
no,
here.
my
I've got more to read.
goodness.
A leader told Chris Zilka, who plays Tom, that he went to the area by the jetty where he sees Lori because she had taken Tom there many times, and it was their place, quote unquote.
That's sweet.
Wayne grants Kevin's unheard wish, perhaps coincidentally, as his miracle child turns up on Kevin's doorstep.
I mean, if he grants the wish, it's not a coincidence.
Likewise, the baby also serves to alleviate Nora's pain after Wayne's initial attempt to do so via a hug in Guest. Where's my clip?
Magic fucking hugs.
There we go.
Is it weird if, let's say, the show is getting canceled?
Mhm.
You're Damon, you're DL, and it's like, hey, we're not going to do it. Is it more interesting if Nora leaves, Lori sees the statue and is like, you know what? We might have gone too far. Comes home, finds the baby, and then Kevin returns and his wife is there, now his ex-wife, with a baby
No, I don't want
that
that.
she had lost.
No.
But I
And
don't
then
like it.
looks like you were lost.
It's interesting, but I don't like it.
Yeah, because he's
I'm saying if you got to wrap the show up, if
Yeah,
it's like the
we're
show's
listening.
over.
Yeah, I understand and I see your way of thinking. I think that's very interesting, but I think they made sure
Thank you for applying. We really liked your application.
they made but we'll be in
It's just
contact.
We don't think it's for you.
We'll call your agent. But that made my head sound weird now. Did you fix a thing or did you break a thing?
Twisted my headphones. I don't know.
Oh, weird. The point I was trying to make was they made a good point of making the show, making us believe that Kevin and Lori are not meant to be together. And
Yeah.
I think that if they were like,
Dude, this is the show of technical difficulties. Truly, even the little wire of the headphones now.
no, it's fine. It was just this little port, I guess, is a piece of shit. But yeah, they just kind of rub it in your face that Lori and Kevin aren't meant for each other. But I see that that's a good end of series resolution. What I prefer is I love Nora so much. I just want to see her happy. And I think that this is the version where you see her happy in the end. And it truly was not it was a really sad thing that happened to her, especially seeing her children and her husband again, especially after being in the healing process.
Dude, when she started reading that note, I was 100%. I was like, well, that's it for Nora. I guess she's gonna kill herself. I guess she's a ghost for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Because it's very rare that I would find myself being like, I could totally sympathize with suicide in this particular moment. For her, I'm like, yeah, I could see that being like, you know what, this isn't gonna get better.
Yeah.
My entire life, it just I don't see a way out of it.
And
Especially with her job and her having to see that, like dealing with that over and over again, it does feel like it would get to a point where no escape. But was super excited that she didn't.
Yeah, especially with her admitting that she's a coward and she can't kill herself and she couldn't do that, and it's just a really like sad way to leave that character but understandable, totally understandable, like you said. Wayne grants Kevin, we already read that one. Yeah. Lindelof has described sobbing uncontrollably upon reading the final scene of the novel for the first time. He said that he and Parada always knew the first season would end with this scene. What is that? What scene is that?
The Memorial Day people in there, maybe?
I guess.
What's the name of is the book called The Leftovers?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh.
Let me see that.
Well, actually, there's a lot of stuff written here about stuff in the book. So it says the book's version of Nora finding the baby is a bit longer, with Nora rhetorically questioning the baby about her parents and finding a note, "This little girl has no name. Please take good care of her." While Kevin's arc over the past few episodes has departed completely from the book, where his chapters at this point mostly revolve around him trying to forget about Nora by focusing on his softball team and hanging out with Amy.
Wait, so did she break up with him earlier? As far as
in the book, I guess. The final scene of the episode is very similar to the ending of the book. In the book, the scene takes place at night, and Kevin is returning from a softball game, saddened to have learned in a text from Jill that Amy moved out. So he had a relationship with Amy in the book? That's gross. The book version of the scene takes place between Kevin and Nora and the baby. The show adds Jill, who in the book is hanging out at the Frosts for the first time, having been intercepted by her on the way to the guilty remnant, and the dog.
Amy, wait, Amy the friend?
Yeah. Whoa. The final line of the season spoken by Nora is also the final line of the book.
I have a baby girl or something like that.
What was the final line? I don't remember.
She says something about the baby, like, well, I found a baby, I think is what she said.
Oh, yeah. Or she said, look what I found.
Look what I found. That's right.
So I guess that was a really emotional moment in the book for people. Okay. Well, having rewatched the season for me of Leftovers, was really awesome and I loved it. But truly, I couldn't wait to get to season 2 and 3 because 2 has truly some transcendent television and really interesting, amazing stuff. So I'm very, very, very excited to get into season 2. Like season 1, it was great to rewatch season 1. I'm glad I'm doing this because I was going to rewatch it at some point. But I do love season 1, and I still think it's better than season 2.
But it's not your
really
favorite
give it
child.
out there. But season 2 is a fucking ride, man, and I'm really excited about it.
All right.
Closing thoughts for season 1, Brett?
Found is what she says.
What did she say?
I sidebarred and confirmed. What I found.
Oh, look what I found. Oh, that's nice. All right, Brett. Closing thoughts.
No, I'm ready. I feel like this has all been prologue.
Great. You're ready. You're strapped in.
Yeah, I feel like we know everything we need to know for this thing to get crazy.
Do you have any kind of like complaints about the season, or do you feel like?
No, because it's so short. I feel like we're just getting going.
Right.
Like I don't have, like I said, I don't feel like it had a big, most season finales try to do something that leaves the audience with a sense of when we come back, things can never be the same again.
Are you surprised?
Yeah.
That it got picked up for a second season?
Yeah, this was shit.
Yes and no. I mean, it's very good. I do think that scene where she gets stoned in the beginning probably cut the potential audience in half, if not more.
Yeah.
I think there are people who just aren't down for
that.
I mean, but Game of Thrones proves otherwise.
Game of Thrones is different. Game of Thrones goes full heathen on all the things.
I guess
on the
that's
sex,
true.
on the
I do
pride,
think
on
that
the money.
Game of Thrones has like such an air of levity to what it's doing.
Yeah.
Even
And
when it's getting serious, when it's getting violent, and it's killing your favorite characters, it's doing it in like a cheeky way that's like, want to talk to your friends about this one.
Yeah,
right.
And Game of Thrones
is like, I don't want to deal with that.
Game of Thrones
Right.
keeps
I don't
you in a
wanna talk about
fantasy.
Right.
The
That's
whole
true.
world is
That's true.
fantasy.
And plus, like
But
you guys
this
were
one's
saying,
real.
also the violence comes kind of out of nowhere because it's the
Yes.
first time that you really see something about that violent in the show.
I burst. I was crying hard. Remember?
Yeah.
I was like audibly like, it was very painful for me to watch that.
Yeah. Alana, closing thoughts on season 1.
Let's go season 2.
She's ready. All right. Well, let's get to some clips. How about that? Does that sound like fun?
Time for some clips.
Do we have clips? We have a clip song?
Yeah, we have a
thought
clip
we did.
song.
Hang
We have
on.
a great clip song.
Let's see if I can find it. New clips. Here we go.
What the fuck, Jill?
The fuck, Tom?
Clips?
Yes, clips.
Clips.
So, I mean, are you gonna choke me or what?
All right. Well, thank you for that, sir.
What the fuck, Jill?
Yeah. What the fuck, Jill? We got
You
some...
don't have it?
Oh, you want to hear it?
Well, I don't know. I assumed you'd play it rather than
What
say
the
it.
fuck, Jill?
So we can say them too.
I
Sometimes I say fuck. Where's that one?
say
Oh,
fuck
it's
too.
gone.
Go fuck yourself.
All right. Anyway, we got a lot of clips here.
Did it poof, Steve?
This first one's called Bambi. Brett, you want to set it up or should we just play him?
Just play it.
Here we go, Bambi.
Hallelujah. Set Bambi free.
Hallelujah.
This next one's called Parties.
Now, I hope to not see any of you anytime soon, especially tonight, as I hate fucking parties.
Just a grump. Just a great
I
guy.
love him. I love him.
Solid grunt.
Motherfucker! Motherfucker!
That's a lot like the Watchmen clip with Ozymandias.
Yeah,
going,
yeah.
Fuck,
Crunching in that skull.
motherfuck. Yeah. I think I actually have that one in here, don't I? Oh, no, maybe I took it out. Damn.
It's a different show, Steve.
Different show.
Jeez, Steve, come on.
I'm sorry.
Come on
I'm sorry. All right, next one's called Prayers.
Prayers are stupid. Prayers are stupid.
That's a great clip. Next one's called Food.
I want food! I want food!
It's coming, buddy.
I want food!
Jeremy.
I want food! I want food!
Is this kid Jeremy the unsung hero of the show?
I mean, listen, that shit happens.
That's real life.
It's as awful as it sounds.
Prayers are
so that's
stupid,
like
and I want food.
Is that triggering for you, Brett?
Only in as much as I'm like, yeah, you get. I relate to the trying to just like be calm, but just kind of pushing that anger down.
Steve, do you not remember those moments? It sounds like you're surprised that these things are real life.
What do you mean? Like when I was a kid?
Yeah, or being in other people's families.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm just saying.
just making sure.
I'm just asking if it triggers him.
Yeah, of course.
That's it. I'm not saying is it real. What the fuck?
Okay. What the fuck,
I have
Jill?
shovels in my trunk.
What?
I have shovels in my trunk.
Wait, Brett, did you pull that one?
Yeah, Brett got it.
That's the one I said to pull. We had a whole conversation where Steve kept being like, nah, we don't know how to pull it. And I was like, every time I say one and we don't pull it, Brett pulls it.
Right. We're aligned.
Well,
you and I.
that's the beauty of the show. Is like
That's
most
the
of the
beauty of the
time,
beast.
a lot of times when we say pull a clip, I'll be like, Brett got that one.
Brett.
This next one.
Brett got that one.
This next one's called Snapped.
So you finally fucking snapped, huh?
Oh yeah, that's a good one because we can use that one a lot in the show.
So you finally fucking snapped, huh?
This next one.
Crazy, dried up fucking turd.
Oh, fuck you, you fucking tobacco-stained twat.
Is it tobacco stained or tobacco stink? Because I hope it stink.
Tobacco stained.
Well, I'm going to call it stink. I think tobacco stink twat sounds so fucking funny.
That's my favorite Green Day album. This one's called God.
Who was he? Just another asshole who thought he was God.
God. No, so thought he was God.
Another asshole thought he was God. This one's called Baby.
Hey, baby boy.
Great! I say that to Steve every morning.
Hey, baby boy.
Hey, baby boy. All right.
Baby boy.
All right. So it's time for emails?
Emails.
All right. Emails is...
Where's your flute? I think we need it. I wish we had a recorder. Sam? Sam?
Email.
I want food! I want food!
It's coming, buddy.
I want food!
Jeremy.
Crazy,
I want food!
Go fuck yourself! Go!
Oh, shit. We got a player here.
All right. Our first email comes from Jake Masters. It's one of my favorite clips.
Oh, shit.
You mean Owen? I love that clip.
It's just like
Crazy
that clip. When that character comes in, it's like, well, this guy's going to be trouble.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This email comes from Jake Masters. He says, email so short it hurts.
Yeah, baby.
Thank you, my friend.
Jackpot.
Hey, BB boys and twirls. Just like Lost, I had absolutely no intention of watching the show, but dang, Steve made me watch it, and I'm obsessed. I have so many questions about the Leftovers universe.
It's my life.
And I wanted to share some of them to get your thoughts. Did exactly 2% of the world vanish, or is this rounded? What are the implications of both options?
Whoa.
What are the implications?
I mean, that the universe does math.
The number of people.
Yeah. The show doesn't really have a villain aside from the concept of being sad. Do you think we'll ever get a big bad, or would this cheapen the mystery of the show?
No, I think concept of being sad is always going to be the number villain.
Yeah.
Did you say Lost had a villain?
Yeah, eventually.
Well, don't say who it is.
Yeah.
Eventually, an eventual villain. We could have an eventual villain.
I think that this isn't a spoiler, but I think Sawyer could I said it's not a spoiler.
All right, go ahead.
I think effectively Sawyer could be considered the villain of season 1, probably, because he's such a
villain.
piece of
I feel like he's the spoil,
Well,
but I think his goals are the same. The goal is to get off the island, so I think a villain would have to be actively keeping them on the island.
Yeah, but so then, eventually there was a villain, and there maybe wasn't a clear one at first.
Interesting.
Also, I think that a lot of shows...
The answer to that question was maybe, Alana.
Oh, okay.
I think as far as, like, I don't know, a show like this doesn't necessarily need a villain. And a lot of these stories don't necessarily need a hero and a villain.
I'm over the hero-villain thing.
I need a hero.
I need a hero. No, but I think that like there's plenty of that, and it's fine. And you know, Alana's point, it is a bit of a tiresome concept, but I think that in this show there are multiple protagonists and antagonists.
Yeah.
And I think that there are even deeper levels of that type of yin and yang.
Good, bad.
Right, but it's also at this point like perceived antagony.
Right. Exactly. I think that's what we're talking about.
It's
more.
like we don't even know who the protagonist truly is, other than we are to believe it's Kevin.
Right, because a lot of times it's like, well, if this is our main character, they're probably our protagonist. But now we're
right,
society,
but he could turn out to be the Antichrist or something.
And that's the thing.
But
like,
he's still the protagonist, isn't he? If he's the main character.
Well, currently,
what is the technical definition?
We're kind of living in this. You know how you can kind of like nail certain like. Alana and I talk about this a lot. It's more Alana's thing than mine, but we still talk about it a lot, which is the idea that like every era kind of has like a theme in pop culture and
it's
television.
Like a way that they see the world almost.
Yeah, and I think we're in this like big anti-hero world.
We have been in that for a while.
And we've been in it for a while, and I think we'll look back on the 2000s as kind of like the rise of the anti-hero in a lot of pop culture. And I think that Kevin is kind of like a deeper version of an anti-hero in a way, but I wouldn't call him just a straight up hero because he's also kind of a bad person. But even heroes do bad things, and I think at the end of the day, Kevin's probably meant to be the protagonist of the series, but he's a flawed protagonist, which is another character that we see a lot in these 2000s.
Yeah, I think as far as filmmaking goes, we've made a shift from like, I want to say generally the 90s through now into making things more real. Like there isn't a black and white in reality.
No.
People love to, I mean, that's why fairy tales exist. People love to make archetypes and examples of like, well, this represents all that's evil. This is just bad evil. And this is just good, great. But in reality, it's grayscale, right? Everything has a little good and a little bad in it and all that. And I think since the 90s in video content, we've started seeing that explored more.
And it's more interesting because it's
more interesting to us now because that's what's appropriate for us now. So of course it's going to be interesting
because we want to explore the idea of good and evil to a deeper degree, not just that like someone killing someone makes them evil. It's
like good and evil as moments and actions instead of as an entirety of a character.
We've also seen it the other way for.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Our own
now
backyard.
It's fresh and new to see it the other way.
Like I love fairy tales. Don't get me wrong. I love a nice like
Me
marvel
too.
or something that's like really obvious. But I think what's more interesting is when stuff's more human.
Here's another very interesting point that Jake brought up, and this was a perfectly formatted email and a perfect length email.
Wow, beautiful, Jake. You get some dog barkers.
And it's also great points here too, for sure. The third point is, what are the cultural implications of Jennifer Lopez going poof? Because in the series, Jennifer Lopez has gone poof. What do you think the cultural implications of that would be?
Why do we know that?
Does Rita Ora return to host Top Model, knowing that Jennifer Lopez was disappointed with her turn at hosting?
Yeah.
Are you making that up, or did that really happen?
No,
that really happened. Rita Ora did one season
of Top Model. They're not models; they're musicians. How does that make sense?
What do you mean? Rita Ora is both.
Jennifer Lopez
America's
was hosting
Next Top Model? Are we talking about Tyra Banks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tyra Banks is the host of Top Model. Is that what you mean?
Right, but one season she was gonna go away. She was like
I'm gonna Google
still
this
producing
shit.
the
I don't
show,
remember.
but she didn't want to host it. You know,
Okay.
so she brought in Rita Ora to host the show for one season. It's
That's
the only
so
season
funny.
I've watched because I'm a Rita Ora fan.
I love her too. Oh my God, I had no idea.
And I heard through the grapevine Tyra was disappointed with Rita as the host and didn't feel like she brought that honest attitude.
So she's like, I guess if
and
I
dropped
got
her, and Tyra came back and was like, if you want to do it right, you got to do it yourself.
Yeah, she's like, I got to do it myself.
And that's why she came back. I didn't realize Rita Ora was on the in-between. Okay, that's a separate thing. I'm sorry.
I'll answer this question
You
so we
check
can
out that season. It's a ride.
Okay.
I'll answer this question so we can move on to the other 20 emails we have.
Oh my.
So I think that the implications would be pretty huge, but it seems like a lot of celebrities disappeared. So I don't know if it would be like as devastating as it would be if she was the only one that disappeared or something.
Yeah,
The
I think
fact
each
that-
fan
okay.
base would mourn
Yes.
differently and accordingly.
For some reason, Brett, I can hear myself.
Yeah, I can
through
hear the
your
echo. Is that-
speakers for some reason?
Oh man, has that been happening the whole time?
No, it just got worse right now for some reason.
It's probably because
Okay,
this is the
hang on.
episode with the technical difficulties, so it had to happen.
Next email comes from Wasson Clancy. And
Better?
Yes,
way
thank you.
better. Thank you, Brett. Leftover season 1 so far retrospective. He says, "Hey guys, I have made a short 25-second audio retrospective of the show thus far. I managed to condense all of my thoughts and feelings on the show so far into this quick voice memo. So let's listen to it."
All
How's
right.
that
Okay, wait,
sound?
let's take a vote. Who thinks this is a bit?
Oh,
and who thinks this is an
I
honest assessment?
I think it's a bit.
I'm so gullible. I didn't even think of that till you said
I
it.
think it's a bit. But here we go.
Okay.
What's up, Stephen and guests and boys and girls? It's your old pal Fresh Willie, and I must say, I've not emailed in the last couple of weeks, and I know you've noticed because I know you miss me. Anywho, my email this week is because I've wrote a little song about my feelings on the leftovers. Let's cut to a clip. The show is bad. I hate it. I don't like this show.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, sir.
Can you make that a clip for the future?
Wait.
Please,
I didn't
need
hear
it.
any of that, but watching Alana's face was a
Oh,
joy.
you didn't hear it because
Brett, you couldn't hear any of it?
Yeah, he didn't hear it
No.
because VLC doesn't go through loopback.
Oh, but
here.
Brett, it's very...
Brett, do you want to
yes,
hear it?
we can hear it again.
All right.
I think I need to hear it.
All right,
Yes,
all right,
yes,
all right.
yes.
Here we go, Brett. This is just for Brett. We're gonna hear it again. And you were right. It's a bit for sure.
What's up, Stephen and guests and boys and girls? It's your old pal Fresh Willie,
Could you hear that?
Yes.
Okay, good.
and I must say, I've not emailed in the last couple of weeks, and I know you've noticed because I know you miss me. Anywho, my email this week is because I've wrote a little song about my feelings on the leftovers. Let's cut to a clip. The show is bad. I hate it. I don't like this show.
We need that clip. We need it.
Yeah.
We need it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love
I need to trim it so it's just the end part.
it. What if that's the new intro song? This show is bad. I hate this
It
show.
could be. Wait, well, I would want to reserve that for shows that were actually bad.
Well, can we put it at the front of Castle Rock?
Yes. Castle Rock doesn't even exist anymore. We don't talk about Castle Rock.
Wow.
Veto.
That's great. That's a good email.
I'm loving that. What's that guy's name again?
I don't think that's a bit. I think that was
Wessel.
honest to what he said he was going to do, which is he's
Yeah.
going to give us his opinion
Well,
on the show.
but the
Agreed.
like the weird sounds and like the
No, well, it was a bit, but it was honest.
yeah,
An
sure.
honest bit. What's his name?
Wasson.
Wasson.
Elizabeth Contreras sends an email that's very long, but I'm going to read it anyway because it's the first long one I've seen, and I'm not going to read any other long ones. And she says, "Hi, Steve, Brett, and lovely Alana. I'm writing from Barcelona, Spain, where we're slowly coming out of quarantine, except I've been an essential worker throughout all of this. Thank you very much for what you do."
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, that's not the one I wanted to play. Where's the Becca to do the goo clip? Oh.
Well, that sounds just like it.
Shit! shit, we got a player here.
All right.
I love the podcast, even though I'm not watching along. I finished the show just as 2020 started going to shit, and I have to agree that my favorite season was the second one. But you'll get to that. I'm excited. Anyway, before quarantine, I used to frequently see groups of 3 to 4 people popping up everywhere and standing around with signs and pamphlets saying, "Will suffering ever end? And can the dead really live again?" You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Specific brand of witnesses?
Yes.
Some of their messages remind me of the Guilty Remnant, especially with the "it won't be long now." The people I saw, I didn't talk amongst them, didn't approach people. They just stood around, and I imagine them dressed in white and smoking. They're very creepy. I haven't read Parada's book, but I've heard the Guilty Remnant were written as a religious group versus the atheist/alternative religion cult from the show. Maybe that's why they don't really lean into Catholicism too much. Could they be more of the Witness kind of cult? I love how Lindelof leans into the whole science versus religion thing again while exploring each character's morals. Also, while you're praising Carrie Coon, who plays Nora, and Amanda Warren, the mayor, I'm in love with Ann Dowd, who plays Patty. Absolutely, we all love her very much.
Yes.
If you haven't seen her in The Handmaid's Tale, you're missing out. Chef's Kiss.
Oh my God, that's my new quarantine. I never finished those last 2 seasons.
Hashtag everyone yes. Hashtag jackpot. Where is it?
Jackpot.
Hashtag save it for your other podcast. Love you all, Elizabeth. P.S. There's a bar in the city here called Barma, all decorated in Lost paraphernalia. They even have an oceanic
Wait,
plane
where?
crashed into the wall.
Spain, Barcelona. Right? She said Barcelona. Yeah. Steve, let's go.
Cool.
We gotta take a trip.
I've been wanting to go. I keep saying take Steve to Spain, but I don't have that kind of cash. But I've been to Spain before and he hasn't. And that's what I mean by that. But I want to bring Steve to Spain because you have ancestral roots.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Zaragoza place.
Yes, I do.
Really?
How cool.
Yes, Zaragoza, Spain.
I went to my mom's.
I have also never been to Spain and would like to go.
Well, come with us. We'll make it a
Save
big
it for
fun.
your damn Spain
Alana.
podcast. We got 17 emails here.
Spain is one of my favorite.
We're at the
countries.
2-hour mark, for
Shout
fuck's
out.
sake.
Love you, baby, boys and girls. Give me kisses. Let's siesta.
Ben Slavinsky says, "Howdy, gang. Shorter thoughts from someone who's never watched the show. I tried to tell y'all my guesses as to what's going on last week, but the email was simply too long, so here's a shorter one. Holy Wayne impregnates Asian women with his magic fucking hugs.
Magic fucking hugs.
And then coordinates a worldwide wealth spreading system between them.
What about his penis?
Kevin is super hot, but also crazy because he's lost his shirts. Also maybe slept with his daughter's friend while sleepwalking, kind of a doofus. The Guilty Remnant really sucks. They like to steal pictures and stone people. Nora sounds really cool besides her addiction to being shot by prostitutes. Glad she got the pain hugged right out of her. I think Bongo Joe is going around killing dogs because their owners poofed, so they went rabid, and he's doing a little vigilante action. Maybe Kevin's alter ego? Thanks for the good times and the fun times, Ben Slavinsky, hashtag Brett yes, hashtag Alana Yeppo, hashtag Steve.
Yeah.
Joseph O'Malley says, sorry for the long email last week. Hi, Steve and Alana and Brett. Apologies for last week's long email. I guess it's hard to gauge how long something written will be when read aloud. I just wanted to thank you, Steve, for introducing me to this, my favorite show back when it was airing through the SourceFed Review Show, and the series of reviews on your channel. Wow, that was old days. I don't believe either of these episodes got reviewed, though, so I'm excited to hear your thoughts finally, and for the rest of the show, too. Since you want this short, I'll just give one discussion prompt if you've not talked about it already. Where do you expect the show will go next, and where do you hope it will go? That's a great question that I won't answer because I know where it goes. So, Brett, Alana?
I hope to get some answers.
I feel like we are headed to a final season where people suddenly return. That's just me.
I don't think that. Great, we have two different opinions. Perfect.
Katie Green sends an email. Thank you, Katie.
Jackpot.
She says, Katie's thoughts for Leftovers episode 9 and 10. Episode 9 thoughts. Did anyone else think that this episode was an alternate reality? Yeah, Brett did, until the end. More scenes of getting things under mailboxes. What's the symbolism here? I don't know. Gladys mentions how the puppies don't need their mother anymore, just like how the guilty remnant no longer needed her. Oh, interesting. Could the departed simply be people who were causing annoyances? Crying children, homewreckers, inattentive parents / spouses, unwanted pregnancies, a grass is greener on the other side experiment, if you will.
That's kind of what we are thinking.
4.5. That end scene with Lori gave me chills. Oh, the baby, yeah. Episode 10 thoughts.
Wait.
Her baby departing.
Oh yeah, of 9. Okay, yeah.
Episode 10 thoughts. If I found those fake cadavers in my house, I'd have nightmares for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here with your Night of the Living dummy looking asses.
Jackpot.
Good, yeah.
Lori yelling Jill at the house was burning. Oh, the house was burning almost made me cry. Yeah, that was a very powerful moment. She screams her daughter's name. The dog can represent...
She speaks. This is the first time she's spoken.
Yeah. The dog can represent the prodigal son, acting recklessly only to return home to find he is forgiven and welcomed with open arms.
Interesting.
This also applies to Kevin. It can also, in a way, apply to Tom, though we don't see him accepted back. From the look on Lori's face, I'd say he is. Great email. Thank you, Katie. That was a wonderful time.
Thank you, Katie.
Guys,
thanks, Katie.
We got Beto, but goddamn, this email's real long.
Beto, we like your emails, so try to trim them up.
What do you guys think?
We read it because it's Beto. This is his one chance, though.
I mean, it's the finale.
All right, Beto. Last time. No more long emails, buddy. For God's sakes. Boys and gal, notes shorter. Really? Episode season 1. You sure about that?
Oh, shit.
Great callback having Kevin take his secret cigarettes from under the mailbox. The foot
Oh yeah, I did like that.
Mm-hmm.
The foot feels the foot when it feels the ground. Great product placement for Torty Cloud there, Steve. There are not enough scenes with Kevin without a shirt. Kind of makes you wish this was happening in a beautiful tropical island.
How are you not making a Torty Cloud in quarantine?
I've already done it.
Oh, yeah, actually.
I did it. It's a secret. Shut up. I'll send it to you, though.
Please send it to me.
You'll laugh so hard. It's great.
I can't wait.
Lady Deer Killer is from out of town. Hot cop is smart enough to know he can't cheat with someone living in the small town. Interesting. Is it still cheating if she poofs?
Great question. I want a shirt that says that.
This episode leaves it very clear, according to Lindelof, life starts at conception. Oh.
Oh, I didn't even think about that, boy.
Any show gives me a whole flashback episode at this point in the season, right before the season finale, I would be furious. Not this show, though. Easily one of the best episodes. Agreed. Kevin and Bongo Joe in a bar drinking and talking shit. Drunk voice. Bro, listen. Bro. No, bro. Bro, listen, I swear. Shut up. I swear to God, bro. I fucked her till she poofed, bro. Season 10. Season 1, episode 10. Season 10. Jesus. I'm sure there are records of the departure depicting when and where people poofed. Not of everybody, but most people would have called the police, and eventually someone would have gone case by case trying to collect as much information. Then is just up to the guilty remnant to steal those records slowly in a matter of months or years so that they can enact their sick fucking plan. Yeah. Nora's daughter doll is the scariest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The dad was scary too, the husband.
Oh, yeah, but the daughter was... It's like they pasted 3 layers of different faces on top.
How come Annabelle looks so stupid and not funny, or not scary at all? It's funny. But that doll could have been Annabelle and been fucking terrifying as fuck. You know what I mean?
Wait, we don't think Annabelle's scary?
I don't think Annabelle's scary at all. Do you?
I liked that last Annabelle movie.
Annabelle looks like a product of the 2000s horror doll kind of image.
It's an over conceptualized doll.
Yes, way over conceptualized. I agree. It should have just been like an 1800s creepy porcelain thing. Those are always scary.
Yeah, it looks like someone made it to look scary.
Exactly. It was manufactured to look scary.
I ain't falling for it.
I don't fall for that shit. I feel the same way about Jigsaw, but we'll save it for our Saw podcast. The Sawcast. I really want to know.
I don't want to do that.
Great. Oh wow, I'm
I also
surprised.
do not.
I'm very surprised.
I did. I tried to watch through some of them recently, and I was like, oh, this is just.
Yeah, they're no good.
It's a slog. Yep.
But hey, if we're gonna talk about Hostel, I'll talk about Hostel with you.
I'll talk about Hostel all day.
I really
listen.
I'll take a bath. I would love a bath, a nice read.
That's a different. These are two different franchises.
Well, but it's all murder porn or like what's that? Torture porn? It's all torture porn.
Yeah, I mean, total. I feel like Hostel is it's more relatable. Is that weird?
No, totally. More human, I guess, is a good.
Where it's like rich men doing awful things.
Although the first Saw is really good.
The fear of traveling and like xenophobia. It deals with a lot of stuff.
Totally. And the rich. Commentary on the rich. I really want to know more of Kevin and Matt's relationship. The level of trust you need to call someone to help you bury a body is not an everyday thing.
That's true.
Well, it seems like since Matt is in cahoots with his dad, with Kevin's dad,
there's like a layer of trust.
There's a layer of trust from the family because it seems like.
Also, he's hooking up with his sister.
And he's like a priesty guy.
Yeah.
And a priesty guy is
He's
trustworthy.
like part of the family now.
I just get the idea that in the past, Matt really helped Kevin, or Matt really helped Kevin Sr. with some maybe potentially sketchy shit and is extending the courtesy to Kevin in a way. But sure. I'm sure Nora has something to do with it too, a little bit. And his priesthood, his
I think his priestiness feels like, like when you're a little kid, they tell you if you get lost, find like a pregnant woman or a cop or something. That doesn't really apply anymore. And they'll help you.
Yes.
Like people who have that certain role are usually helpful. I feel like as an adult, you find a priest. They're the archetype of like, they'll help you. They
I don't know,
kind of
priests
have to.
are pretty gross too sometimes.
True. But hopefully you don't get yourself in a nudie bed.
Let's see, sound alert. Oh, fuck you, you fucking tobacco stink twat. I think I have that one right here, sir.
He said stink too.
Fucking turd.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Oh, fuck you, you fucking tobacco stained twat.
Yeah, it's stained.
Yeah.
Tobacco stank.
It is stained, but I like stink.
Yeah.
I am guessing Kevin wishes for his family back, and in a way, it is granted. Jill seems very good. Jill seems to want to go back to Kevin, and I feel like Nora might stay and have a family with Kevin and Black Baby Sheezus.
Can I say something? When we were watching that episode, when Kevin is carrying Jill out, Steve just said to me, do you think that actress who played Jill, you think she really loved that? I'm like, what?
Being carried out by Justin Theroux.
And I was like, I don't. He's playing her dad. I don't know. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, but she's not fucking. What's his name?
But like, what a weird thing to say.
She's not Daniel Day-Lewis.
Let's ask her. Let's get Margaret.
Let's get her on the podcast.
Did you love being carried by Justin Theroux while pretending to be his dead
I would love
daughter?
to be carried. Listen, if I was playing his son in something, and I needed to be carried out by him, I would absolutely love it.
I would too. You asked me if I'd like it. I would like it.
Would you like it, Brett?
I feel like I would have some level of anxiety with anyone carrying me on camera.
But what about off camera?
Anyway, amazing season, amazing show. Can't wait for season 2. Steve, Alana, and Brett, I really appreciate you in the show. Thanks for reading. I really tried to make this one shorter. Well,
thanks for writing in.
It was worth it. Right?
Spencer Claywig. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. Oh no, look at this. Are you kidding me?
Spencer Claywick?
Look at this, Alana. What do you think?
I mean, there's a clip at the bottom. Why don't we just out of context play it?
Granted.
Yeah, there we go. Alternative. If your email's too short, we'll just play out of context that clip.
Too long.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's too long. But he says he's leaving us with a wonderful clip I made about mustard stains because all I could think of was the Breaking Bad pilot. Hoping, hey Officer Mustard Stain is the new Good Morning. That's great.
We need to be playing that clip.
Jackpot is becoming the new Good Morning.
What is?
Jackpot.
Oh, Jackpot. Yeah. All right, here's the clip. Let's hear it.
Jackpot's the new Konnichiwa.
Why can't I hear it? Did you hear it, Brett?
No.
I heard it.
Mustard. Right there, you get mustard there. Right there.
Hey, Officer Mustard Stain.
Fuck! Motherfucker!
What's up, Steven and guests? And
Oh.
Please watch the video version so you can see Brett's reaction to when that clip came back. All right. Nice distinction. Too long email. Daniel Martinez. It's kind of long too, but not as long as the others. So let's do it. The foot feels the foot when it feels the ground. Hi there, leftover watchers. First and foremost. I hope you're all safe, healthy, and doing well. Whoa, what a season finale. Finally, Tommy making stuff interesting. Some quick questions that came up whilst watching. Skip any that have been covered. How does Kevin not live in that baller house anymore?
Because it was hers.
Yeah. Duh. Can we get some applause for Mommy Nora getting a job? Thoughts on pre-event Jill? She was a bit too happy before. No, it was perfect.
I love the braces.
Perfect.
I thought it was totally that age.
I wonder if Kevin finally quit smoking after the guilty remnant appeared. As far as you're concerned, for the next 4 weeks, I don't have any. Oh, I don't have a family, Nora. What? The doll's reveal was even worse than I imagined, right in the feels. The guilty remnant bought the cheap-looking ones. The one that Frat Boy had at the hotel was a top-of-the-line replica. P.S. You don't have to read out loud this part, but thank you for using your platform to get people informed and involved in the current issues. Well, thank you, Daniel. That's very nice.
That's very sweet. Thanks.
Giovanni Canoli sends an email saying, exclusive alternate cut goodies, short, I promise. Thank you for respecting the format. That's a jackpot. Giovanni Canoli says, yo, wanted to let you guys know that I was able to pick a super rare copy of the twin cut of The Leftovers off eBay this past week. Apparently, there's a whole other version of the series that was left on the cutting room floor that features the twins tagging along with Officer Mustard Stain in true buddy cop fashion. Except that the twins aren't cops and they just spit out witty one-liners every once in a while. Here's one of the highlights from his version that I was able to pull from episode 9. I hope you guys enjoy. Well, here we go. Exclusive. We got an exclusive here, guys.
Are you a good guy?
What?
Are you a good guy?
No.
You want to come in?
Jackpot.
The anticipation for that was insane.
Wow.
Short email, long clip.
What's the clip length top? Cap.
Short email, long clip is my favorite cake song.
Zhang Jing Max sends an email that's also a little long, but goddamn, if I keep reading them, you guys are gonna keep sending them. So I guess I won't read, but
skim it.
I'll get to a part where he says, "Oh, he takes issue with you, Brett."
God damn it!
Fight.
Didn't do anything.
He said, hey, Alana, Brett, and Steve, as per Brett's suggestion, I've attached the emails theme, but with jackpot added. I'm pretty sure Steve has got it covered, though. On to the episode. Oh, okay.
Is that what he took?
No, but it is called Brett's email theme. It just has jackpot. Oh, that's not...
Jackpot.
Okay. Well, it's a 50-second long clip, so...
What's wrong with it? I love it.
No, it's great. It's just like it's like almost a minute long before we get to emails. Is that okay?
Well, you tell
in
us,
a how long? 3-hour podcast this week?
Yeah, it's probably...
I feel like we can take a minute.
We're probably... No, he says, holy fuck, Force Ghost Patty. I puked a little on my mouth when she said not deep enough. And when Nora saw her creepy family dolls, her kids were in the opposite seats. Was this of any significance, you think? Also, Brett, I will fight you about Liv Tyler's character being annoying. She always has this smug look on her face like she's been about the guilty remnant life. But we know she's just doing it for the clout. Clout chasing ass. Just kidding, Brett. You're a treasure. Had a good time watching season 1.
I'll never stop loving Liv Tyler.
Yeah.
It's nothing anyone can say.
What did
Don't
he
try
say
to
about
take
kids
that away from
in different
Brett.
positions?
Jesus, Maggie, come
They're
on,
in different
Maggie.
chairs.
Who's in different chairs when?
The kids.
What
when
kids?
they put the dummies, when her dummies.
Oh, yeah.
The dummies of the kids.
Well, it's
in
better
it.
for lighting, frankly. Maybe that's why.
John sends an email, episodes 9 and 10, saying, hey, gang, hope you're all well. A few thoughts on these last 2 episodes. Episode 9 is probably my favorite of the season. Seeing the Garveys all together at last was great and bittersweet as well. Seeing the characters' reaction to the sudden departure was gut-wrenching. I love that the season ends on an optimistic moment, as there seems to be a chance for the Garveys and Nora to build something new together. For me, the core theme and message of the show are encapsulated in that last scene. No matter how dark things get, there's always hope to begin again. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on season 2. I can't think of another show that has reinvented itself midway through its run while still remaining what made it so great in the first place. I love each of your insight and analysis on the show. You brighten up my week. Take care, John.
Thank you. That was awfully nice.
Saucy Show sends an email saying, hey, Alana, Steve, and Brett, and guest who seems to have departed. I'm a huge fan of the Valley Folk and Dynamic Banters. My first time watching the First Time Show.
We plan to have a guest every week, but they tend to depart right before.
They decided it's time to weigh in with their super duper deep commentary, and I'll just talk about episode 9 since this email would get way too long otherwise. Perhaps Alana spoke to this already regarding themes, but overall I thought episode 9 was about the dismantling of family and what factors cause a family to fall apart. We see
That's
Kevin.
a new take on it.
We see Kevin beginning to lose his connection with his kids. Then we see Tommy get into trouble. We see Lori scared to tell Kevin that she's pregnant. Tommy and Jill discuss their parents potentially splitting, and Nora lashes out at her kids when it feels like her only escape from her home life might slip away. Perhaps these stories being so connected thematically indicates in some way that the departure is about what the departure is about. Something tells me it's not that simple. Let me know what you guys think and keep up the great work. Times are difficult for everyone right now, and all the content you guys put up at the Valley Folk and beyond make things a bit more tolerable. P.S. I have an idea for a jingle and theme song for Alana's notes. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. Hint, cue the which one of you is the smart one clip. Let's do it.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, make it. I'd love to for Alana.
Oh, I thought you were going to play it. Okay. Yeah,
No.
you should definitely make it.
Yes, please make it.
That's right. I'll make sure to make official notes then.
Natish Mata sends an email
If you're
saying...
going to get an intro.
You got to keep it professional.
You know?
Natish Mata sends an email saying...
Jackpot.
Cue the jackpot clip because we finally reached the point where we get to see my favorite character, the outline of Justin Theroux's massive dong, right in the first minute of episode 8.
Boing, 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 boing,
Is there a
ding,
sausage
bingo.
factory in town? Nope, just Justin Theroux's massive dong. Cue the jackpot clip.
Jackpot.
Cue the slide whistle. Scrimp. Cue it all.
Scream.
Because I've been waiting for this moment ever since you guys decided to watch The Leftovers. Thank you for allowing me to experience this again. Love you all, Natish Mata. Thank you, Natish. Yeah, when he's running in his sweatpants. Dong City.
For sure.
Allie Dorr sends an email saying, clips and emails theme. Hey, Stead, Bread, and Moana. As promised, here are 2 jingles for you to use as clips. A A clips intro and an emails intro. Not trying to compete with the other great themes people have sent in, but thought you might like some alternatives to use. Hope you like them. God damn, these were these 2 episodes a doozy. Can't believe Kevin got blue balls by the poofening when hot businesswoman poofed from beneath him. They totally got us with the dream sequence where Matt dropped Kevin off at the loony bin. I wonder if Matt will use what he knows as leverage against him later on the show. They really pull no punches with Lori losing a baby in the poofening. That explains why she's so affected deeply and joined the smoking remnants. Just a couple thoughts. Anyways, that's all, friends. Definitely a great couple of clips from these episodes. But I'm sure you got them. Much love to all. Hashtag Maple Dapple Highway. Wow, it's been a while since I heard that one. And hashtag pee on it. All right, let's open these clips. Oh. What the hell was that? Hold on. Sorry, guys. We're having more technical difficulties, thankfully.
I didn't hear whatever you heard.
Did you hear something, Alana?
Yes.
Interesting.
All right. What did you hear?
It was like,
here's the new clips theme. You guys ready? Here's a new one. Let's hear it.
You got yourself a fish biscuit.
Magic fucking hurts.
Jackpot.
Shh, Kevin. 23, 42, 4, 8, 15, 16, please, Kevin. 42, 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42, 4, Kevin, please. 42, 4, 8, 15, 16. Kevin!
I say fuck.
Time for some clips.
Want a cheeseburger?
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Wow, a lot of lost clips in there. That's great.
I love it, I love it, I love it.
And here's the emails theme. Kevin.
Took your top. Look who's here.
Fuck your daughter.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, shit.
Billy Ray. Officer Mustard Stain.
Time for some
emails. Yeah.
Wow!
Oh my gosh! Oops, killed it.
Damn.
Oops.
That
Killed
is
it.
the new fucking emails theme. There's also one more clip in here called They Brought Charlie Back, but here we go.
He hasn't said anything since he came back. But they brought Charlie back.
You got yourself a fish biscuit.
Wow.
Wait, let's hear that back butt one more time. That was quick.
He hasn't said anything since he came back. But they brought Charlie back.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Dyslexia Kills sends an email saying leftover season finale, hung bung boys, Alana, and a possible guest, but let's be real, there won't be one. We're trying.
You know, quarantine is, we have enough technical difficulties. It's a little difficult.
Yeah.
I have been trying to watch along, but always a little behind. This week, I was able to watch in time, though. So glad you're doing the leftovers, and these damn episodes were hot. The flashback episode really fucked me up, though, especially Lori's story. I remembered it from last time, but it still got me. Also, I read Creeper, and I can't wait to see more, so keep us updated. Thank you, Dyslexia Kills.
We gotta figure it out. We should do more.
We're gonna figure it out. What is this shit? Beto Guevara says, please do not feel obligated to read this on the podcast. I truly hope you read it, though. Hello, Stephen, Alana, Brett. I need to write my feelings regarding what I have seen throughout the Black Lives Matters protest. My experiences and that of my country are vastly different from what I'm seeing in America today. We in Venezuela have been fighting for basic human rights and against Soviet Union-level communism since 1999. Racism has been prevalent, but never in the scale that we're seeing in the U.S. right now. But I've seen police violence. I've seen black men gunned down. I've seen elderly people beat down. I've seen civilians suppressed. I've seen children shot and killed, all in the name of law and order. In my last email, I remarked about losing hope for my country, so I wanted to clarify. 1, yes, I did lose hope for my country. I do not take this for a drama class. I do not take the words I write lightly. Midway through 2014, after 14 years of protests, killings, injustices, and numerous other reasons, I completely lost hope for a better future for my country. 2, please do not lose hope for yours. This might sound silly, especially coming from me, but rebellions are built on hope. This is also a long email, but it's important, so I'm going to read it anyway. You must hope that the things will get better. You must hope that wrongs will be righted, and you must hope that we can be better to each other.
That's that Obama part we need.
Hope means nothing unless you take action. Action does not mean a couple of weeks of protest. It means more. I know it is not comfortable. I know it sucks, but I've seen children getting shot in the face and things that just getting back to normal in a matter of weeks. Do not let the protest stop until you win. This is not a fight you can't let yourself lose, tie, or forfeit. You must win by a landslide. Any other way is losing, so there can be no other way. Beto. Wow. All
Amen.
Right. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you for sending that. Yeah.
Moving on.
And sorry for what's happening in Venezuela.
Indeed.
It's one of those things you're conscious of, but you don't know what can you do.
Leftovers, BBBBs. Hi, baby boys and summer girl. Israel from Ecuador once again with a short email. The Leftovers is so dope. That's all for today, guys. Keep up the awesome work. P.S. Your Friday stream was inspiring. So proud to be a member of this community. Well, thank you, my friend. Aaron White sends an email saying, Leftovers Season 1, Episode 9 and 10. Hey there, baby boys. Here's my quick thoughts on the 2 episodes. Episode 9. This whole episode made me uncomfortable because we've been so used to everything being so weird and chaotic, and now we get to look into life before the poofing, and it's all awkward and seems so out of place, but it is just normal life. I think that just sheds light on how fantastic this show is at world building and really immersing you into what the world would be like if this event actually happened. Episode 10, great finale. It definitely left me wanting more, and fuck the guilty remnant. Can't wait for season 2. And always remember, wear a mask and wash your ass.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. We got
Miami Dan here. Miami Dan says, first and foremost, hello, first time show crew. I'm deeply sorry for breaking the format, but I was desperate during quarantine, and I will never spoil anything for you guys or the audience. That said, something you didn't read on my non-spoiler email was that on the episode Gladys, you didn't notice the footage on the TV when Kevin is getting dressed is actual footage from the raid in Waco, Texas. Oh.
Whoa.
All right.
Whoa.
Thanks, buddy. As for these episodes, last 2 episodes, it's crazy how Lindelof always leaves the second to last episode of his series as backstory episodes. He did it with Lost and he did it with Watchmen.
Oh.
Just a cool little observation. Another question is the crack on Kevin's wall. What did it mean? Also,
Steve knows.
How freaking traumatizing is having someone disappear right in the middle of sex? What would you?
Yeah.
What would that make you get a I fucked her out of existence complex?
Yes, I do believe so.
Yeah, but then when you'd learn how other people disappeared, probably not.
I don't know.
Lastly, the finale episode is pretty great. I did have some reservations with Tommy and the baby situation. It felt all a little last-minute wrap-up with Tommy and his mom meeting up. I do love the priest and cop team-up. Make that into a series. As far as next season, I think it's honestly my favorite season. I have a funny story / connection with the next one, but I'll hold off on that until next week. Keep up the great work. Miami Dan.
Miami Dan.
All right, that's it, guys.
Whoa. Thanks
Hey.
a bunch.
We did it.
Easy 2.5 hours.
Breezy 2.5. Big old video file to edit down. So if it's late, that's why. I can't wait to get into season 2.
Yeah.
You excited,
Soon.
Brett?
I'm going to get into it straight away.
Wait, what day does this come
You
out?
can't do that. Don't disrespect the format.
What
What
day
do you
does?
mean? We're done. We're done with season 1 now.
Yeah, he can watch the next 2 anytime.
Well, yeah,
Spacing them out.
The first 2.
but don't. Well, my whole thing is like do whatever you want, obviously. But my thing is,
Doesn't feel like it's that way.
Police helicopters.
my whole thing is like, I mean, just for me personally, I like to watch it just before we record because it gives me like a fresh perspective on everything, and that way I don't forget anything. Do you feel like you're the same way at all, Brett?
No.
Oh,
I watch
okay.
it throughout the week. I try to watch, I try to space the 2 episodes out a little bit.
Well, that's
And
good.
then when I pull clips, I tend to scrub the whole episode and remind myself of what happened.
Oh, that's a good
right
way.
before I record.
That's a good
Yeah.
way. All right. Well,
cute.
I'm
What a
very
cute
excited
idea.
to get to season 2. Alana, are you excited? Any closing thoughts?
I had a thought I forgot, and so I am excited.
Oh, great. All right. Well, guys, listen. Thank you.
Oh, I had a thought. What time? When does this come out?
Whenever
well,
Steve finishes.
It's probably it might be tonight. This is Sunday night, so it might be tonight for patrons, but no matter what, tomorrow morning.
So Monday
morning. Yeah.
Oh, well, funny you should mention it because Tuesday is Steve's birthday. So everybody go say
that's true.
a sweet happy birthday to a sweet boy.
Happy birthday,
That should be
Steve.
June 9th. I hope I'm getting the date right.
You're sweet.
Yeah, Tuesday,
It
right?
is, yeah, June
yeah,
9th.
Tuesday. No, the 9th I know. The Tuesday I was unsure.
Oh, I
7, 8, 9. Yeah, Tuesday. Everybody say
What are
happy
we doing?
birthday.
Are we gonna watch all the Planet of the Apes movies on Zoom?
Well, Alana and I already watched them like a month ago, so
Oh.
we're probably not going to do that again. But I don't know. We could do a Zoom thing if you want.
Steve's doing an Animal Crossing birthday party. That much I know.
I am doing a little Animal Crossing thing for anybody who has Animal Crossing of my friends can hop onto my island. We can hang out on my island for a little bit.
Do you consider that like if I don't have Animal Crossing, I'm not a true friend? Is that what you're saying?
No, not at all. Not even a little bit.
He does. He says that in his sleep.
I'm
Okay.
so sad
He
that you
shouts
don't
it
play
out.
Animal Crossing, Brett. It
You don't cross
keeps
animals.
me up at night.
You ain't my
We play
friend.
Worms. It's our little Animal
Well,
Crossing.
we need to keep doing that because that was really
Yeah,
fun.
I want to play more this week for sure.
All
Let's
right,
stream some.
let's totally stream some. I think that's a great idea. But Owen had a really fun idea for like a Zoom hangout for
What was his
for
idea?
for us and Chris and anybody else who wants to join. But we'll talk about it off the show.
Oh.
Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you. Please subscribe to the Valley Folk Valley Cast channel, youtube.com/The Valley Cast, so you can see the video version of this podcast, or just subscribe to it because there's other stuff there too. There's the Valley Cast, and there's Elliot's podcast, The Fundamentalists, with his friend, with his philosopher friend, whose name escapes me for some reason, and I feel bad now. Peter Rollins, not Henry Rollins,
Yay!
Peter Rollins. But
3.5 hours of podcasting, 7.5
that'll do
hours
it.
of 10 hours of podcasting will do it to you.
Anyway, but Alana, anywhere you want people to check you out or anything like that?
Yes, you can come to my Instagram. It's at Love Alana Chan, LoveAlanachan.
And Brett, anything you want to promote?
Yeah, my
Creeper?
name is Brett Register.
Make sure
Please
to
follow my name.
check out Creeper on Comixology.
Yeah.
It's the comic book Brett and I have created together, and Brett is writing the first 3 episode arc, and I'll write the next 3, I guess. We're holding ourselves
and
accountable.
the Cave Club graphic novels are available for pre-order.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
that's really cool.
What's
How do I
that?
get my hands on
What is
that?
it?
It's the graphic novel I did for the Cave Club
Oh.
launch. So there's one that comes out at the end of this month and one that comes out in October.
Guys, support Brett and the hard work he does, and check that out because that's really cool. I want it too. How do I get it?
I'll figure out a way to get it to you.
Oh, that's good. I mean, I'll pay for
That's
it.
what I like to hear.
Fuck it, I'll pay for it.
Oh, you can get it on Amazon if you want to pay for it.
Oh, I'll get it on Amazon then.
Or Barnes and Noble, or Walmart.
Whoa,
.com.
that's some good coverage.
Books a Million.
Oh shit, what is that? An East
Whichever
Coast?
is your preferred vendor.
Where's Books a Million?
Never heard of it.
Where's Books a
You never heard
Million?
of Books a Million?
No.
Bam?
Nope. Never heard of it.
It must be an East Coast thing.
That's what I figured. Did you ever go to B. Dalton?
Nope, never
Fuck
heard of
yeah.
it.
Walden Books?
Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
I think I've been to all the bookstores.
Oh hell yeah, nice. Guys, what's your favorite bookstore? Let us know in the next
Please let us
email
know
you
in the
send.
comments below.
But please send your emails for the next 2 episodes of Leftovers, which will be season 2, and send those to thefirsttimeshow@gmail.com. Keep your emails short, please. And if you got some clips or emails, songs, and jingles, please send them our way because we love them and it's good times and we love showcasing you guys. And keep up the fight, and thank you all for supporting good causes. And my final message to everyone is Black Lives Matter. We'll see you next time.
Amen.
Goodbye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.